Yes. It is time for the Elite Eight matchup between the Auburn Tigers and the hated Spartans of Michigan State University, located in East Lansing, Michigan, a town that I have never been to, but I imagine would be bland and cold with a bunch of goofy people. I don't know. They may think the same thing about Hampstead, Alabama, or Auburn, Alabama, or Alabama in general, and they would be wrong. I was texting with J-Head in the event of an Auburn W. We definitely want to get J-Head on the horn. Hello again. It's going to be a Sunday afternoon drain, which we don't do that often, but it's a special day. The Auburn Tigers, again, playing for a chance to compete in the Final Four. A win today in Atlanta against the aforementioned Michigan State Spartans would result in the program's second ever berth into the Final Four, which would be an absolutely huge accomplishment. We have been saying for a while now that the Auburn Tigers, it's kind of a Final Four bust season. It's easy to say that in November, December, January, even February, but now here we are, one win away, and it's just like nerve-wracking, right? So we'll just watch this thing together on CBS and see what happens. We got some super chats coming through from some legends. I know the chat is absolutely loaded with our usual legends, and we'll see if there's any new faces around here as well. Feel like a stranger, certainly not a new face. A faithful supporter of the channel and everything we do here. Says, word up, much love, Drainers. Super chat. Much love, Drainers, Swoogans, and Tate's Elite Eight versus Tom Izzo. One of my favorite coaches, actually. Seemed like a good dude. This was our goal all year, to be in this game against a legend for the right to make the Final Four. I love the attitude, even though I have to see Grant Hill on my screen, and probably could live without that. But anyway, feel like a stranger. Thank you. And, yeah, we've been talking about this. You've been with us from the beginning about, hey, you were with us on this journey that we took to do the streaming for all the games. We used to not do a lot of basketball streaming, and then we decided we were going to go every game this year, and you've been here with us, and I appreciate you, bro. War Eagle 0008 is with us as well. Let's give an applause. Says, feel like I'm going to puke. War Damn Eagle fan, this is what it's all about. Thanks for the show, JGT. Thank you for being here and being such a great part of our community here at the Brain Drain. I want to go ahead and put up, we still got some super chats to get to, the scouting report for the Michigan State Spartans. As you can see, defensively, those boxes at the very top, they're very good. They're essentially equal to Auburn defensively. However, on the attacking end, not quite as good. And the number that sticks out here is the red box for three-point shooting. Not great. 31.1%, which is 318. I think there's around 350, 360 teams in Division I, and so they are, golly, bottom 20%, I would say. So it's something to keep an eye on. Now, what's interesting about Michigan State is that even though they don't shoot the three well, I think of them as a very guard-oriented team. They've got Fears, they've got Holloman, and they've got Jace Richardson that play up front, and, well, not front, they play that's their wings/guards, and those guys are ballers, 100%. They're just not necessarily long-range shooters. Hayden jumps in with a super chat, says nut/net cutting time. Come on, that's pretty clever right there. I like that, Hayden. Thank you for the super chat and for always hanging out with us. And I feel like we've watched you grow up through the years. Cassidy P says, happy Elite 8, y'all. Time to survive in advance. I know Cassidy P was fired up to see the Arkansas Derby yesterday, and a young man named Sandman makes the big run to capture imaginations as we head into the Derby season. The true Derby season. Appreciate you, Cassidy P. He's always here hanging out with us. One of our Atlanta legends. Raven, jumping in. He is not an Atlanta legend, but he's a legend wherever he is. I'm not going to say where he's at. He may be in the state of Florida. He says, I want to see 40 minutes of mental and physical toughness. We got this, War Damn Eagle. Of course, he has very high standards. He is a Celtics fan, a lifelong. And he has expectations commensurate with what the Celtics do. And I think it's fair, honestly. Auburn Tigers have shown this entire season that they are up to the standard in the college game of being tough mentally, of defending, of rebounding, of shooting the basketball, of beating people off the dribble. Auburn has the ability to do all of that. And I think when they're playing their best, they are the most complete team in college basketball. Ravin feels the same way. He would just like to see a little more consistency, and I think everybody here would be fine with that as well. T-Park jumps in with a super chat.
Super chat.
Another one of our Atlanta area legends says, Warren Eagle fam just walked into the arena. Can't hide money, T-Park. He actually flew, and that's the thing. He did just walk in, but that's after he got off the chopper and he walked in off the roof. So, yeah, he flew in the Trae Young door, came through the Trae Young door, I should say, and we appreciate him spending some time with us here on the show while he's in the arena. That's it takes a rare drainer to be able to do that. I know Knuman has done that, and some others have as well. T-Park, of course, into the illustrious Stu Pup did that last weekend. When he was in Lexington for the game. There he is right there. Stu Pup has a super chat. Enjoy this, everyone. Not many days like this come along, guys. Basketball team, basketball enthusiasts at Auburn. Let's be real about this. 12 years ago, 13 years ago, there were not many of us. I cared. A handful of you guys cared. Stu Pup absolutely was in on that. I'm not trying to exclude anybody. I think for the most part, the folks in this chat are the ones that have cared the whole way. I can definitely remember Stu Pup caring when it was Barbie. And when his Lebo and things were not going great. The same for Reynolds, who's in the chat as well, not related to Danny Wolf, as he mentioned in the show the other day, but Reynolds has been a big fan of Auburn basketball and was hoping. We had a conversation at the national championship game in 2010. Can they get better? Can Auburn basketball be great someday? And I said, I think they can. It just takes the right coach. I had no idea it was going to be Bruce Pearl many years later, 3 years later, I guess. Yeah, we made a good choice, didn't we? Yeah. Also, War Eagle 0008 mentions that he drained with us from Durham when he went to the game at Duke earlier this year. I apologize for missing that. I mean, I didn't miss it, but it slides my memory sometimes. Jeremy Fears, brother of Jeremiah Fears from Oklahoma fame. Jace Richardson and Jaden Akins. Interesting, I was looking this up. He's only got two guys, when I say he, it's Tom Izzo, two guys on his entire roster that didn't come up the whole time through Michigan State. One of them is the center that they're going to start tonight, who has the foreign name, and there's one other kid who don't play very much. So their main guys, and I understand Fears is a freshman. That's not really that, not exactly long tenured, but even the bench guys at Michigan State are Michigan State guys. He didn't go into portal and get him. I think Fiddler's the only one that plays significant minutes, plays a significant role, and came from Omaha. Omaha. CDF jumps in with a super chat as well. This guy has been unbelievable. He actually did called in with us and was super chatting with us from Maui earlier this year. He's a long way from home these days, but he still loves his Auburn Tigers. And he ain't forget where he's coming from. He says, it's time. It is. Let's get it, guys. It's a special freaking day. Win or lose, I'm glad we got here together. Flat Picking jumps in and says, Janai about to ascend to GOAT status at Auburn. I'm definitely going to give you an applause for that. Janai starts off with a 80%er going to his left inside. I don't think they have the personnel to repel him if he decides to be assertive and he gets the position he needs and he shoots with confidence. I don't think they have what it takes. Now, defensively, Auburn's got its hands full, I think, with these guards. They're going to drive. And you know Auburn hasn't necessarily been great repelling downhill driving teams. Florida in particular, Texas A&M did some of that. Alabama did a lot of that. Oh, my gosh, great. Terrible shot. You know what I mean? Defensively from Janai to force a terrible shot. Chad Bacon Lasagna tries to go into Janai. And that ball's going to go out of bounds. Frank says, wow, I'm way behind. I hope I'm not. I'm going to hit that live button to make sure I'm where I need to be. And I am Flat Picking. I appreciate you being here and being part of what we do here. Connor G with us today. I love that. Knuman here with us. Daniel P. Bill M. Hornatius was in early today. I hope he's doing some quality baking. When Hornatius bakes, I think Auburn is damn near undefeated. Here goes Janai, going to try to back him down. Little simple fall away.
He's heating up.
Oh, it makes me happy to see. I don't like the fallaways, as you guys know, but if it's going to be a 6-footer, you know, I can deal with that. It's the 17-foot fallaways that really bother me. Miles Kelly chasing. Now, and that dude can shoot that shot. I think I looked him up earlier. I think he's just a little over 30% from three, even though he's a big boy. So that is a weapon of theirs. But again, three-point shooting in a general sense is not something that this team does well. They're worse than Creighton when it comes to three-point shooting, but these guys can definitely get downhill, and defensively they are a problem in a general sense. I don't necessarily think that they're posts. Holy shit, Janai. Oh, my God.
He's on fire!
Is he just going to carry him today? He's done it before. He's 3 for 3 from the floor to open up in the first 2.5 minutes of this ball game. That's Jace Richardson, isn't it? That's a nice play right there. Auburn's got to do a better job of building a wall, is what BP likes to call it, getting bodies in front and forcing a more challenged shot than that when he gets into the lane. The shot wasn't challenged at all. And he's able to switch to his left hand and finish that bad boy. That's a nice play. Small Victory says, Broom, money is a great sign. I completely agree. That almost guarantees that Auburn's offense will be churning as long as he's like that. So Michigan State has been able to equalize Janai with a three-pointer from a big, and then Jace Richardson with a drive down the lane and a left-handed finish in traffic. Shot not challenged well enough. Defense okay on that drive, but you'd like to see the shot challenged a little bit better than that. Great passing tempo. Auburn is usually really good when they have great passing tempo. Denver missed the three, which is okay. He's been good in this tournament. I like the defense on that. That's a shot I think Auburn can deal with. 25 feet, 26 feet. Michigan State getting ready to make a sub, and I'm sure Auburn will as well, with their whatever I call the 1.5 or the 1.1 lineup where they switch into Todd and Chaney. Little floater from Denver. He's usually very good at those. Missed that one. Miles Kelly. Oh, man. He's usually cash money from the counter like that when he's open. But he missed one. So Denver's already missed a three, and Miles has missed a three. Good looks, good opportunities. I like to see it. I feel like Janai has been expended a lot defensively so far in this game. He's been chasing more than he normally does. All right, I see Chaney checking in, and Tahad is in there as well. So this is the normal substitution pattern. You roll Dylan out. You move Janai to 5. And you take Denver out and roll in Tahad, which means you move Miles Kelly to wing or to shooting guard. Whoa, they got free on the baseline there. Good passing tempo for Michigan State on that. Auburn caught ball watching a little bit there. Auburn's passing tempo still good. Very good. Hot tempo so far. All right, they're cheating over on Janai now where they weren't earlier. And that's a nice little mid-range J from Miles Kelly. Again, if Janai is going to be like he was early on, very assertive and get that good positioning, and they're going to have to cheat over to get a half double team on him, it's going to leave that wing open for some ability to operate. And so that means the pressure is going to be on Chadley and Miles to make something happen. All right. Decent look for Michigan State on that one. Auburn got the defensive rebound. We're at 14:52. Only one stoppage in play so far. That's kind of cool. I like that little.
He's heating up.
You see how far Miles got the ball out in front of him on that? he kind of knew exactly the space he was going into, and he knew exactly what he was going to do when he got there. He was going to pull up. So 2 mid-range jumpers for Miles. He's 2 of 3 from the floor now. And that's going to be a turnover, and they're going to call that. It's going to be a media timeout now. 10-8, Auburn advantage here early on. They're about 6 minutes into this game. I'm going to go ahead and get some hot, fresh stats. But I would say, guys, that it's a pretty close segment right there, but I like the way Auburn's playing. They're playing with confidence on the attacking end, and I think defensively they've been at least solid. Let's see if there's any numbers here that already get me excited. I mean, I like Auburn being up, too. That's good. Yes, I do see some numbers I like. Ooh, I like that number a whole lot. Yes, there's a lot of good numbers on here. Let me go ahead and get this pulled over for you guys. Take a gander. Let's see, the last time Auburn played in the Elite Eight would have been the 2019 season when they took on the University of Kentucky Wildcats without Chum, who had gotten hurt. And so everybody was thinking that they wouldn't have a shot. But guess what? They did have a shot. And they effectively ended Kentucky as a blue blood that day. Here are the numbers that I really like here. 3 assists, 0 turnovers for the Auburn Tigers. I absolutely love that. Let's see. Feel Like a Stranger says, when we pass, we score. There's no truer statement than that. Auburn's offense works great when it's got the passing tempo going. Let's see. Chip thinks that was a solid W in that segment. He +2, but you love the way they're playing. And as Chip is someone who watches Auburn every single game, he knows what they look like when they're flammable. And this segment definitely looked flammable to me in a good way. Good flammable. 3 assists, 0 turnovers. I love that. 4 rebounds to 2. Again, short, small sample size, but BP was telling his team, you've got to be the more physical team out there today. And they're definitely playing up to the physical challenge right now. Malcolm correctly surmises defense is going to be key to this game. I do too. I think that's going to be the way it is. Michigan State is a team that struggles, I think, if you defend them well. They are shut downable. I guess technically the way that Tennessee was today, I did not think they would get shut down that much. But Michigan State is a driving team. We know that Auburn sometimes defensively is not great at these teams that line them up and drive them downhill. But here's the good news. Since Florida did that to them in February, and Texas A&M did that, and Alabama did that, and Ole Miss did that, although not very successfully, or at least not successfully enough, they've gotten better at that. It's tougher, I think, for teams to take advantage of Auburn in that way because they've been hit so many times with that particular attacking paradigm. I guess this is the last time Izzo and BP played each other. 2010 Midwest Regional Final won by the Spartans. BP wearing the orange suspenders, and I can't get over that. 5 of 8 from the floor for the Auburn Tigers, 3 of 7 for them, so that's essentially a wash. 0 for 2 from 3 for the Auburn Tigers, 1 of 3 for Michigan State. That's probably a few more threes than I would have expected from a team that shoots that poorly from long range. And I would really like to see Auburn have an advantage in free throws attempted today. I know that's unusual for Auburn, but it would be sweet. And it would be an area where they could keep Michigan State from kind of getting some sneaky points in there. Miles kind of got bailed out by a foul there. Leaving the ball out in front a little too much, and Jace was able to knock that ball away, but judged to be a foul to get it, and that's good. Let's see. Ravin says the threes will come. Just keep seeing the ball go through the net. My man, Bego, what's up, bro? Good Lord, the baggy short era was horrible. It really was. You don't realize how bad it was until you see it later, right? Because when you're in it, it seemed okay. Chaney, oh my goodness.
Drop.
Chaney with a turnaround. Jay, Auburn is mid-ranging these guys to death right now. Crazy. Not something you necessarily see from Auburn every day. Auburn tends to be, well, golly, they've gotten away from the transition game. Oh, Miles with a nice steal right there. That's a good idea from Chad Bacon-Lazan. Oh, my goodness.
Splash.
some really thoughtful decisions in that little mini break right there. Miles was Euro stepping across the lane. I thought that was going up. He dished it to Chad. Chad was going to get stuffed. He dished it back to Miles, and he hit a three. That was two really good, calm decisions in transition right there, which we haven't necessarily seen. There's another downhill drive that Auburn had defended pretty damn well. Tahad feeling it in transition. Can't get the ball to go. Chaney with a big offensive rebound. Miles from three. Oh, that needed to go. I like the second chance opportunity there. Oh, geez. If I had just done what number 55 did, I wouldn't walk for a week. Going up for the alley-oop. Slams into the net. Can't grab it. Lands oddly on his knee and his ankle, and he's fine. It's just the kids are unbelievable these days. One Fly is with us today. Love to see that. Small time with Tim the Toolman here as well. I don't mean to make that sound surprising. He's here with us all the time, but glad to see you, bro. Definitely a key part of the Blend family here with us today. Love seeing everybody out for the big game. Tahad, and Tahad's going to take another three, and he's going to splash. Chip. This segment is definitely looking pretty tasty right now. I would have given Auburn a split decision win in the first segment, but this one is this is an overwhelming W in this segment. It's still about halfway through it, probably. Auburn's defensive rotations have been tight. And again, Michigan State, I feel like if they're going to have to pass tempo, hot tempo into three-point shots, that's not their typical plan to success. And I think from an Auburn perspective, look at that guy that's at Michigan State fans fired up. I think Auburn would be happy to see Michigan State continue to attack that way. If they can't get into the lane driving the basketball in a consistent basis, they're not going to win this game. I mean, for Michigan State, they're not going to be able to shoot their way through this. Unless they have like that one game out of 50 where they can just hit everything, but it doesn't look like that's happening right now. Janai, oh my goodness gracious.
Drop.
He's still operating. Good second chance opportunity here for Michigan State. Still can't hit that three. They're going to get a third chance opportunity here. And they're going to miss that one as well. They are definitely not hitting from three today. They're going to get a fourth chance opportunity and miss it. Good golly. I wonder what the percentage for a team is in NCAA Division I when you get four chances at a bucket and you don't score. I bet your scoring percentage would probably be upwards of 90 one way or another. And somehow they went full matrix on that and didn't get any points. I do not like that shot from Chad Bacon Lasagna at all. And he missed it, and nobody had a chance to rebound it. Michigan State continues to jack up threes. They've missed probably 7 or 8 shots in a row at this point. They're getting another, that's a third chance opportunity. Lord have mercy, they've missed a shitload of shots here, guys, in a row. Holy cow. Auburn is on a 17-0. Oh, hold on. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. I'm expecting a splash here in just a second. Janai Bruin from three. Oh, my God.
Splash.
Auburn is, guys, this is, holy shit. This is probably the best segment of basketball we've seen from Auburn this season. I mean, that is damn near perfect. That is great. Well, defensively, you're giving up too many second and third chance opportunities that they're not going. But on the attacking end, you're getting the smart decisions in transition. You're getting generally smart decisions shooting the basketball. You're getting offensive rebounds. Janai is absolutely in operation mode. He's playing like freaking Bill Russell out there. Chaney's hitting jumpers. Miles is hitting jumpers. Auburn's on a 17-0 run. And Michigan State has missed 10 shots in a row. 10 in a row. 23-8. Cassidy Pieces, Call God. Of course, Auburn does this celebration constantly. They've been doing it all year. Maybe not all year, but it started pretty early on anyway. Now it's become a thing. And Jeremy Napier, their outstanding chaplain, kind of works that into some of the services that he does because the guy's just brilliant like that, and really brought a lot of meaning to a lot of people's lives, a lot of players, a lot of folks. They had a service yesterday, or it might have been this morning, I take it back, with a lot of just folks, just like fans, supporters, players. It's pretty damn cool. I don't want to get too religious on the show just for various reasons, but I think that stuff's pretty inspiring. Albie Cran is here with us, one of my fellow Hampstead legends. Says, keep it up, AU. He loves to see it. He wants more. He wants Auburn up 45-8. They keep playing like that, they're going to get to 45 by halftime. I'm not a mathematician. One Fly says, keep the foot on the pedal. I'm going to keep my foot on these stats. I need to get some more stats. Chip, I know, is fired up right now and wants to see the carnage that Auburn is dropping upon the heads of Michigan State at this very moment. He wants to see the statistical footprint that Auburn is putting up in this game, which is probably concerning some teams out there who may be facing Auburn in the near future. 23-8 is the score right now. Auburn again on a 17-0 run. And they're absolutely locked in. Look at these numbers. 10 of 16 from the floor. 6 assists, no turnovers. Good God almighty. Rebounding has evened out there, and they've got 5 offensive rebounds, Michigan State does, but they can't get the ball in the basket. 8-0 run in terms of points off turnovers. And their points per possession for Auburn right now is 1.769, which is insane. 2 would be like PlayStation. 1.5 they're very happy with, and they're getting closer to PlayStation. So just one thing for Auburn, and I think it's been a little bit of a challenge this year because they've been super hot like this at times. We've seen this, of course, is maintaining that, right? They've had a tendency in some games. I'm thinking specifically of the Texas game, which would have been the second conference game of the season. It's a long time ago. But they were running Texas off the court like this, and then I thought they kind of flagged for a while there, maybe 20 minutes in the middle of that game. They needed to pick it up late to put Texas away, which they did, but we'd like to see them continue this. I don't think you can stay on a 17-0 run, but they've got to keep the attacking mentality and flow. Got to keep that going. Let's see what they can do. They switch back to Denver at point, or, Denver at combo, I should say. They got Semo out there now. Janai, so still no Dylan right now. I think that's okay because Michigan State's not a team that's going to go in with their bigs too much. So I think it's a better idea to let your matchups be more like Chaney, who's a more versatile defender than Dylan. We're going to go back for another TV timeout there. Yabo says, I'm okay if we don't shoot free throws as long as they don't either. Christopher B., well said. That is a very perfect way to describe it. Tendency for Auburn to get up big and play with their food. They did that a lot this year. They sure did. I'm sure there's some other situations where they did that. They're not coming to me right away, but I can remember being very frustrated with it. So this is a really nice start for Auburn. Essentially ideal. And that second segment of this game is about as good as we've seen. And probably the best they played against a legit opponent all year long. Although I love the way that they finished against Houston. It's a long time ago still, but I was like, I don't think they're going to win this game. And they were able to kind of do some work. Yabo says, Fiddler on the roof getting weird out there. My man, I'm glad to see somebody's still can have fun with headlines like that. That'd be a good headline. Frank G says, don't play with your food. Please keep eating. It's a perfect analogy, isn't it? Donnie says, our free throw defense sucks sometimes. That is true. I love it. That is actually a stat that Ken Pom categorizes as like free throw defense. Auburn's free throw defense is, for what it's worth, is like bottom. They're ranked 2. I take that back. That's Michigan. Who cares about Michigan? Auburn's free throw defense is, about the same as Michigan's, actually. Bottom 3rd, I guess, in the country. Not much you can do about that. I guess it's more about like word selection. Maybe if you can rip a fart at just the right moment. If you could just do some air horn. Stoop Up says the Houston finish was some great basketball. Absolutely, man. Ravin says, JG, did I miss the 4-minute segment grades? You know, we haven't really we were doing that for a while, and I feel like we got away from it. But guess what, man? We can definitely do that again today. It's a little bit different in the NCAA tournament because I feel like their media timeouts can get a little wonky. I feel like in the SEC network, they're right on time all the time. The first segment, I'm going to give it to Auburn in a split decision. And the second segment, I am giving to Auburn full. So we'll see how we continue going here. Just kind of getting a game reset here. I know we've been kind of stuck here for, 5 minutes now. We're at the 10:04 mark of the game. Auburn's up 23-8. They're on a 17-0 run. Michigan State has missed 10 consecutive shots. They've hit one of their last 13. And they're on an overall scoring drought of just under 6 minutes. Fresh boy, my man, how you doing? Glad to have you here. Says JG, what is happening? War effing Eagle. So glad you're here to experience this with us, bro. I feel like you've been around for so many bad football games. And you've been around for some great basketball games, too. But this is definitely a delight to watch right now. And if they could just keep this up, I think they could kind of do a little bit like what Houston did earlier. Frankie Fiddler, really the only main guy, the guy that really helps them that is a transfer. Came in from Omaha in the offseason, and he's been a nice, complimentary piece for them. But Izzo is definitely of the Dabo school of portal work, where he says, hey, I'm going to get these kids. I guess he was a little bit like that, too. Going to develop my kids, in the old school way, get them here as freshmen and kind of work with them and get them used to how we do things at Michigan State. It's a great way to do it if you can keep up. Janai with a little push shot. I would consider that an 80%er. He missed it. Might have been his first miss of the game. Don't get too upset about that, Donnie. Donnie's noting that the disparity on the personal fouls called. I know he's being a little bit facetious, but all right, Michigan State just hit a 3. So got it down to 10. A little mini 5-0 run here. It's a little misleading because Auburn's only had the ball once, but I remember that Auburn, in this game today has been a jump shooting team, and you don't draw a lot of fouls when you're jump shooting. It's just the way it is. I don't like that behind the back dribble from Chaney. That's too much for him. That might work against AD, but it ain't going to work against Jace Richardson or whoever he was going against there. Chris H. says those timeouts are going to kill our momentum. That was a long timeout. Consider it's kind of back-to-back. Michigan State's got to deal with that too, but since Auburn was playing so well going into it, it probably hurts Auburn more. That was a really nice drive from Michigan State to get it to 15. So they have definitely come out from that last time out. Man on a mission. I like that 7-0 run. Auburn's had the ball twice. Well, really one offensive possession because Chaney kind of turned it over. I mean, I can't fault the defense, man. It was a DHO concept there with the roller, and Janai's got to make sure that he's got pass coverage on that. So he can't really body up Jace Richardson on that. I was happy with his defensive effort there, and it was just a good play, a good finish from Jace Richardson because he's a good player. Nice rebound from Chaney right there. I don't like Janai just posted up at the three-point line. That's not where he's been the difference maker in this game so far, but Miles again, dude. Uses his acceleration to get into a great position on the floor and then just doesn't do anything with it. Got right into traffic. I think he was trying to dish that ball, and then it just got tipped, and Michigan State got off with it, so that's going to be a turnover. All right, defensive. I'm sorry. Attacking shot quality is down a little bit here since the timeout. I don't like Auburn's shot quality so far. Janai did have a good push shot that he missed. That was a quality shot, but the rest of them have been not so good. Plus, you got the turnover. I got 2 turnovers, actually. So definitely have fallen behind a little bit here. Not on the scoreboard, but you know what I mean. Got to get back on the right side of the momentum here. I think Auburn is content to let Jace Richardson take 27-foot contested threes. I'm going to give Michigan State a lot of credit. They are absolutely going after these offensive rebounds. They've had way too many second, third, and even fourth chance opportunities. And that's going to pay dividends for them eventually. And it's going to hurt Auburn eventually. So they've got to get better at that. The Auburn Tigers do. Oh, Miles. God dang it, man. He gets into a great position there. He's got about an 8-footer there on the sideline. Just a little pull-up, floater or jumper, and he missed it so bad. It's a 6-foot shot. He missed it by a foot or 2 feet. Now we're going to go to another timeout. That was guys, we got to give Michigan State that one. They get a full victory on that segment right there. And I kind of pulled back a game that looked like it was going to get, it wasn't going to be over or anything, but it was going to get like Houston and Tennessee if they hadn't done something there. Ephesians is bad sequence from Miles. There's no way around that. You're absolutely right. That was just not good enough. Just doesn't look confident to me. That last little floater, it was wide open. Auburn has missed 5 shots in a row. They're one of their last 7. And they're on a almost 4-minute scoring drought right now. We'll see if maybe this time, coming out of this timeout, Auburn can be the one to kind of say, hey, we got to turn this thing around real quick and make their own impression on the game. Got some hot, fresh stats on their way to you. Let's see if there's some numbers here we like. Some little nuggets. Michigan State, 2 of 12 from 3. I'm not surprised by that. I wouldn't necessarily think 17% would be their standard operating procedure, but I'm not surprised they're not a great three-point shooting team. 5 of 21 from the floor. They're going to be appalled at that number, 24%. The Auburn Tigers at 48, almost damn near 50. 12 rebounds to 14, so MSU is now +2. But they still only have a 2-0 lead in second chance opportunities. And guys, remember, they've had some fourth chance opportunities so far in this game that they haven't been able to consummate at all. Haven't been able to make any sense of it yet. 6 assists still for Auburn, 1 turnover. That was surprising to me. I guess Chaney's behind-the-back dribble was considered a steal. I don't understand that. Miles, we know, just threw the ball into nothing, into a heap of people. That's 2 turnovers right there, but whatever. Officially, it's 1. And they've picked it up a little bit. 4 assists and 3 turnovers for Michigan State now. So they're still shooting like ass, but they're rebounding the ball ferociously, particularly on the offensive rebounds. And their ball handling has been much better since the beginning. So that's going to be their formula. They're going to crash the boards and they're going to drive. That's what they're going to do. One thing you got to keep an eye on, and this trend is still early in its infancy of this game, but Michigan State being 3 of 3 from the floor from the line, and Auburn not having a free throw attempt yet. I know it's early, but this is something that I think could be a factor because Michigan State's going to drive, and when you drive, you tend to get fouls drawn, and you tend to go to the line more. And as Coach Sonny Smith says, that's a great equalizer is when you can score points with the clock not running. Let's see. Daniel says, people have said that Miles is good at getting to the rim, and I just haven't seen it this year. He's not a great ball handler in traffic, and he misses at the rim a lot. So you're making a distinction there. He is good at getting to the rim. He is not good at putting the ball into the basket when he gets to the rim. But he definitely gets there. He's a creative guy with the ball. Cassidy P jumps in with a super chat, says, get stops, get to the rim, repeat. I believe that was a piece of advice that you offered yesterday, or 2 days ago, I should say, that worked out well. Auburn started doing that. So hopefully they listen to you this time, Cassidy P. In your town, maybe since you're closer to them now than you usually are, they might hear you better. Oh, my gosh. Michigan State had a 7-foot turnaround, and he missed everything. No rim, no backboard, no net, just right into Janai's hands. Tahad got stuffed by the rim on that one. He was anticipating contact, and it didn't get. Desperado says, my chat is not moving. I believe that was the last thing said, but I will reload it just for fun. We got a super chat coming through from the man, Travis J. He is the working man. That's what I said. It says, let's not take the foot off the pedal. Need to feed Broom. War Eagle. I appreciate you, bro. They call me the working man. That's what I am. There he goes. Janai going to go for an 80%er, and he gets it.
Drop.
Breaks a little bit of a drought there for the Auburn Tigers. Fortunately, Michigan State really hasn't been able to accomplish much either. He's now 6 of 7 from the floor, which is pretty damn good. And his one miss was, he's going to regret that one too, because it was a really good shot, a quality shot. Yeah, we need to have a sound, Yabo. You're right about like an opponent makes a shot that's just so bad. We need to have a special song for that, a special soundbite. Wow, what a nice move by Jace Richardson. That is a tough shot, man. He is really an operator, I'm telling you. He is a player. I've been watching him a little bit in this tournament just because I happened to turn them on, I guess, when they're playing or whatever. I was like, man, that kid's impressive. Oh!
Boom shakalaka.
That was some nice passing tempo right there. Janai to Tahad to Dylan for the Dunkski. That was nice. Auburn has 8 assists now. 8 assists to 1 turnover officially. Oh, man. Number 55 ran into a fucking brick wall right there. He couldn't get another inch forward. And another brick city from a forward. Oh, my God. The pass from Chad right there was insane. But Janai with a turnover. Boy, Jace Richardson, man, such a creative driver. He's kind of like their version of Tahad. He doesn't have Tahad's quickness, but he probably has some savvy that Tahad lacks just because of age. Oh, that dish from Tahad was delish, man. Oh. Michigan State can do nothing but watch that one. Yabo says 50% of the time when JB hits his 80%ers, those are the good days. It's like Sex Panther, right? Richardson at the line. And Michigan State, by the way, is now 4 of 4 at the line. And Auburn is 0 of 0, so something to keep an eye on. It concerns me. Newman's still making jokes about Zep Jasper giving AU Tiger 88-20 hell. For those of you who may be new to our show, we had a guy in our community at auburnsports.com say that in the beginning of the season that he thought that, and it's an incredibly bad take, you're going to think I'm making it up, but he thought that Denver Jones was roughly the equivalent of Zep Jasper. And rightfully, the community was like, this is the most delusional take we've ever heard here. And that's really saying something. And he's really kind of like doubled and tripled down on this. Denver's lost a shoe. Denver is minus a shoe. We've got a shoe and the 3-point line. Denver just trying to step on his shoe to get it back on. Auburn not getting the offensive rebounds right now. It's pretty much one and done. And that's something that I know Michigan State is definitely harping on right now from a coaching perspective. Because when you talk about second chance opportunities in this game, it's definitely been in Michigan State's favor. They've had many more chances. Oh, damn, Dylan. You can't come in low on Dylan like that. He's going to swat the shit out of that. Great switch there. Did you see how Chad kind of took him to the free throw line and then Dylan picked him up and Dylan pushed Chad away? Like, I got it, bro. It's like the equivalent in football of like a zone coverage, right? It's kind of what they're doing. Wow. All right. That segment, to me, that seemed about even, guys. Neither team really stood out. I'm going to call that even. There were a couple of situations there where I thought Auburn might break out or break back out, I should say, and Michigan State certainly had a couple there too. So, to me, that was an even Steven segment. 27-19, 3:28 to go in the first half. And I'm in the process of getting you guys some hot, fresh stats. I'm concerned. At this point, it's still not a big statistical marker, but the free throw disparity is starting to bother me a little bit. They're 5 of 5. Auburn is 0 of 0. That definitely makes a difference. Of course, Auburn is doing some things, shooting the basketball, which is easily overcoming that right now. But I don't like. Oh, damn. Never mind. I misinterpreted what was being said in the chat there. Rebounding margin still about even, 15-16 in their favor. 4 assists, 3 turnovers for them. 8 assists, 2 turnovers for the Auburn Tigers. Janai had the latest, the most recent turnover, which was silly, I think. Got a little ahead of himself. Auburn is 3 of 10 from 3. Been more accentuating, better shots inside the 3-point line here lately. And Michigan State is 2 of 12. I think they're doing the same thing as well. They're trying to attack more downhill rather than take those threes. I think Izzo probably told them, guys, this is not what we do. We're not a team that shoots 35 threes. Let's get it. Let's think about this for a minute. Rob's going to be pissed to see that Auburn has – no, I think it was Donnie actually was talking about that. 5 fouls called on Auburn and 1 on Michigan State. But, again, Auburn is not really driving the basketball. Auburn is jump shooting. And if you jump shoot all day, you're not going to get fouls. There's not even really an opportunity to get a foul called. War Eagle 0008, that's what I'm talking about. He asks in the chat, not sure why they only have fouled once. BP needs to point this out to the refs. They're jump shooting. You'd have to be a bad defender to foul on a jump shot. I mean, it happens sometimes, but it's not very common. Desperado says, I know Bama is out, but we still hate them, right? You damn right we do. Absolutely. That's what I think about Alabama. I had a tough one last night, guys, thinking about it was Duke and Alabama. I'm like, I really don't want either of these teams to win. Gary Danielson, one of the most hated analysts maybe in college football history. I feel like everybody hates him. Like casual fans, folks that listen to him. Not as a person, just as a broadcaster. I thought he was good. I think that job's really hard. Now, I'm kind of a broadcaster if you want to look at it here. I'm super amateur, but like I think it would be really hard. And just to be able to organize your thoughts and get some cool information out there and some insightful stuff. Michigan State hits another 3. They're now, 3 of 13. And Auburn needs to get on the accelerator a little bit here. Definitely lost some of their offensive flow. We really liked what Janai was doing early. Now they're starting to kind of hedge on the double teams with Janai. Oh, shit, that's going down. Oh, it got stuffed. And Dylan just passed the ball to nobody. But Chad Bacon-Lazania was able to save that. That was nice. I bet Auburn's missed its last 5 3-pointers in a row, something like that. There's a turnover in the full court Auburn created. Chad likes this matchup. He's going to try to take this dude to the hole. Or just, Chad. That was lazy, man. Chad had a good matchup, and instead of driving, he just did a step-back 3 and missed it. Chad's not hitting shit from the floor right now. He needs to get out of the game. He's 0 for 3 now. I don't like that. That's just not – that is incongruent with what Auburn's trying to accomplish on the attacking end right now. Auburn's not getting much at wing right now. Miles hit a couple of mid-rangers, but that's it. And then Chad's just been a mess. All right, that could be a foul right there, and it is. Tahad, my God.
He's heating up.
That was a delicious drive right there, and it was exactly what Auburn needed. Goes in between the trees, changes the height of the ball, throws him off, and then gets the ball in plus the contact. It's a clutch-ass play right there from a clutch-ass player who may be playing his way in the first round of the NBA draft, by the way, which would not be great news for Auburn, but from a developmental perspective, that's what you're always trying to do. You're always trying to get your guys in the NBA. At the end of the day, that's a great thing to do. It's just that I think if Tahad were to go pro, I mean, you might have to be resetting so much of the roster. But, I mean, that's just the modern-day college game. You think about Kentucky, who was not nearly as good as Auburn this year. I'm just saying, I think they had one player remaining from their team last year that played this year. It's just, for some programs, that's just the reality of the situation. It's just a harsh reality. I do like a lot of the things Janai's doing on the defensive end. I think he's been tracking people well. He's been rebounding aggressively. His passing's been good. Oh, Janai.
Drop.
Little, I guess, tip in, almost like a little mini slam. That was nice. 7 of 9 from the floor, 10 rebounds. Guys, we're not even to halftime yet, and he's got a dub-dub. In an Elite 8 game. And somebody, Carter was saying yesterday, well, Carter did apologize. Well, not apologize, but he came correct. But Janai takes a lot of, oh, so sorry, bro. Too much spinning, homie. This ain't a Gravitron. Izzo's pissed. I don't know if he's pissed at the player or pissed at the, oh, he said that's not a travel. He didn't move his foot. Let's see, not salty, my man. Says Tahad splits the double team better than anyone. He's a very valorous attacker with the ball in his hand. That's what I love about him. He just did it again. Chaney from 3. Missed it. Auburn, again, cold from 3-point range. And that is a big part of Auburn's attack usually, so they'll probably just keep shooting that. Mitch is hoping that they tee up Izzo for dissent. There comes another drive. Oh, that's going to be an and one, too. It was a soft foul. I mean, I think Auburn would just put itself in a bad position there. Yeah, he kind of shouldered him. It's a nice finish. Yeah, Denver, I mean, kind of chested him twice. I mean, again, this is not a harsh foul at all, but they'll call that on the other end if you do it. Damn, Brian, this is the seniors don't want to play. I'd say Janai's playing. Hey, easy there, Big Daddy. No, so Zero got called for the travel on the last possession, and now he's going to get a foul just for being a dick right there. I think he's just in his own head. Says you can't blame the kid for being mad when you screw up these calls like this, bro. I was going to call him a bozo. One fly was a great rebound. He said, good rebound, Broom. It sure was. It's a big boy grab right there. 15 points and 11 rebounds, and somebody said the seniors aren't playing. Come on now. What more do you expect? Did you need 30? BP seems kind of at peace with what's going on right now. Surprising. $11 seconds to go. 6 seconds to go. Janai going to drive. That's going to be a foul. All right, goodness. All right, we're getting the free throw disparity kind of back. We got a handle on it again. Kind of pulled that back. So they're 5 of 6 from the line, and oh damn, okay, it's not as good as I thought it was. This is going to be Auburn's second and third free throw opportunities of the half, but I can deal with that. 6-3 I can deal with. Like 13-2 is what I can't deal with. And he hits the first one. 3.9 is probably enough for Michigan State to get a decent shot on the other end. We'll see how it goes. They're going to call a timeout and try to ice. Now they're probably just trying to get their response set up here. How they're going to get the ball down court. Yeah, well, I'm with you 100%, brother. That's just a bad take. It's okay, man. Sometimes, it's an Elite Eight game. Auburn's playing for its second ever Final Four. A lot of pressure on this, a lot riding on this. We've watched together, 35, 36 games, 37 games together. There's a lot on the line here, and so some people maybe have some bad takes, and I've certainly had a few in my career, so no hate. But that was a bad take to say the seniors aren't playing. Yeah, well, it says Tom Izzo has that I need a scotch look on his face right now. Why is it always funny to me when we talk about old people drinking scotch? My granddad Wexler used to drink scotch. That's part of it, I guess. He would just kind of come home and, an afternoon after playing golf and just knock one back. That was all. He didn't pound it all night or anything, just drank one. He had these awesome, badass, stained glass glasses I thought were so cool. All right, Janai goes 2 for 2 at the line, which you love to see, and gets Auburn up to 33. Let's see what Auburn can do defensively here. That is too good of a look for Michigan State, but they are not able to get that ball down, and it's going to be 33-24 at the half. Long story short, what's Corey out there talking about? Corey, he says, no, you can't talk to the ref like that. You're not a head coach. I wonder what Corey's talking about there. Nothing. I can't really tell what Corey would have been talking about there, but that's fine. Let's see. AU Taxman says 24 points and a half is Gus solid. God, I need a soundbite for that. They're solid. What'd you think about that 6-4 season, Gus? Solid. Gus, you ran the ball 17 times to open the second half, and you haven't scored a point. How do you feel about that? Solid. Sorry, Brian. Corey Williams is an assistant coach, the guy that was talking to the refs there that they were showing on the cutaway right before the interview to Janai. He's an assistant coach. He came over from, I think technically from Texas Tech, but I think of him as an Oklahoma State guy. And he was talking to the two refs there about something. And it's confusing to me why he would be the one doing that, because usually assistants don't talk to officials like that. So I feel like a stranger jumps in. I know he is fired up about that half right there. Tahad is now officially our second best player. Yes. I probably would have said this for a little while now. Janai and then Tahad and those guys, they're the reason they're on the cover of Slam magazine, yo. I mean, that's the real deal there. The chat is absolutely popping here at halftime, and that's what I love to see. We got Spicy P with us again. We love that. Ravin says good first half. Going to have to step it up the next half. I think, it's going to take even more. And the last segment of that half, I'm not 1,000% sure who won that one. Could be kind of close. Let me take a gander the last 3 minutes. I'd probably say Auburn won that, because you got the Tahad bucket, you got a Janai bucket, and then you got Janai hits 2 free throws, and that's basically the finish of the half. And they just got the one shot. So I'm going to give Auburn a split decision on that last segment of the half. So if you count that as half a point, the Auburn Tigers then get 2 full points. They won 2 full segments in that, and Michigan State won 1 full segment, and then there was an even segment. Is what I'm seeing. By the way, yes, 100%. You guys are out here talking, and I don't have hot, fresh stats up here for you guys, and that is a failure on my part. That is a huge failure, so I'm working on it right now to get that rectified for you guys. and gals. And a lot of these numbers are going to be similar to what we've already been seeing, but, that's how it goes. Sometimes. Whale Driver, appreciate that super chat. Let me get to it here in just a sec. I want to make sure I get these hot, fresh stats up immediately. All right, 8 of 30, for Michigan State from the floor. I like that. That's a number I'm very happy with, 27%. That is not a winning formula for them. The Auburn Tigers, 44%, 14 of 32. 3 of 13 from Auburn from the long range. Definitely off the standard. You'd expect them to be more in the 30 range, even on the low end, but whatever. 2 of 3 from the line. I mean, that's kind of in keeping with Auburn. I think when they don't accentuate driving the ball, they don't do a lot of it, and then you don't get a lot of free throws. Super chat coming through from Whale Driver.
Super chat.
Says, considering the competition, can you remember a better defensive half by Auburn? I mean, 24 points against Michigan State. I mean, they're not a great offensive team, but they're good. You definitely did what you needed to do from the three-point line. Rebounding-wise, it's dead even, which I think would be a win for Auburn because I came into the game thinking that Michigan State was the better rebounding team. And Auburn's definitely picked it up. They got beat bad for that one segment that was in the middle of the half, but I thought they picked it up in the second part of the half. I don't know if it was their best, but it's definitely right up there. I mean, I would give it an A on defense. My only concern at this point defensively was just too many third and fourth chance opportunities. I think there were 3 or 4 possessions in that game, or in that half, where Michigan State had third or fourth chance opportunities to score. And interestingly, they didn't score on a couple of those. They didn't even score any points, which is a huge L for them. But you'd like to see a little bit better work on the defensive rebounding end. But position-wise and repelling the drives, I thought they did a nice job. 6 assists and 5 turnovers for Michigan State. Probably a little bit off of what they would expect, being kind of a guard-oriented team. The Auburn Tigers, 8 assists and 2 turnovers, although Auburn had 8 assists with maybe 6 minutes to go in the half and didn't add any. So that's a little bit interesting. I mean, they went to the line also. Let's see. Spicy Pieces Chad takes us from great to unbeatable. And an interesting look there from Desperado sees that Chad Bacon Lasagna, despite being 0 for 3 from the floor, is plus 16 and leads the team. Which means that, in a general sense, Auburn is thriving when Chad's on the floor, even though he's not the one scoring. Some other things that stand out. Obviously, Janai had an amazing half, 7 of 9 from the floor. He opened 3 of 3. I think he was 5 of 6 to open. 17 points, 11 boards is just insanity, guys. I'm telling you, unfortunately, there's going to be days in the future where we're like, golly, don't you miss Janai having double-doubles in the first half of a fucking Elite Eight game? And it just seems, it feels very routine. We're not seeing a lot of chat, not a lot of comments in the chat about it. And, I mean, that is a whale of an achievement, man. He's just a player. I mean, he is. He's really good, and it's just kind of like everyday excellence that sometimes we take for granted because we're just so used to it, I think. CJ jumps in with a super chat,
Super chat.
He says, absorb the punch out of the half. Broom is a dog today. He sure is, man. He was, when they needed him, he was there. And really only missed one shot he missed 2 shots, I should say. One of them was definitely makeable. One of them was, But, I mean, 9 shots for him, which means he'd be on par for 18. Only 1 3-point attempt so far. I'm surprised. Usually when he hits one, he starts taking a bunch. But, wow, 17 points and 11 boards and a half. That guy's on pace for an A+. And what blows me away about this, and so we were talking about this a little bit in the last game, plus-minus can be a little bit of a misnomer, right? So Chad is plus 16. Janai, despite having all that success on the attacking end and really he's been a good rebounder too, is plus 4. He's clearly been the biggest factor in the game, yet on the plus-minus, he's just kind of average. So, G. Curry, I guess, was asking about if Janai's going to win NPOY. I don't think he will. I think it's going to go to Cooper Flagg, who's been just unstoppable. If you had a chance to watch him against Alabama, he was really good in that game. I think he's a little more consistent than Janai. Now, Janai's playing like a man possessed tonight. Just that he has some games where he's just not even there. But today is not one of them. They do note that Tom Izzo, leads the country, leads the all-time in NCAA tournament wins when he's losing at halftime. So that's an interesting stat. Hashtag Hugh Freeze Guy says, Jay. What up, Hugh Freeze Guy? Glad to have you here hanging out with us today. And Yabo says, when we get the good passy pass going, this is what happens. Sharing is caring and winning. That's exactly right. It is sharing is caring for Auburn. Chip says, media has a world-class boner for Cooper Flag. Broom has to win Natty for AU to get it. I'm not even sure that's going to be enough. I just think that Janai has too many games where he scores like, I'm not giving you the exact numbers, but he'll have a 4-pointer or a 3-pointer. And then he was hurt some. You know what I mean? Look, man, I'm an Auburn reporter. I like Janai a lot. And I see his everyday excellence. But he had 8 points against Creighton. Not a huge factor in that game. Had a bad game down at Texas A&M. Really wasn't a big factor in the Kentucky game, even though it was a huge win and Auburn played great that whole day. But then he has other games when he drops, 24 on Ole Miss, 31 on Georgia, 19 on the Bams in the hangar. Had a great game against Tennessee in the loss. Had a great game against Alabama in Neville, and probably his last game at Neville. 34 on 13 of 24 from inside. I mean, come on, bro. Ephesians with his traditional question for me at halftime. What would you tell the team here, JG? I would honestly just tell them to keep doing what they've been doing. Got to continue to stay super hungry and aggressive on the defensive rebounding end. That's Chaney. That's Janai. That's Dylan. I don't understand. I think that Miles Kelly can be more of a factor in rebounding. I think he had 6 rebounds in the last game, and I love it when he cracks 5. I think that really adds something to the team. He has 1 rebound so far, and Chad Bacon-Lasagna has 0. I want to see better rebounding from the wings. I understand that part of their deployment approach is that they get out and help them in transition, and so that takes away some rebounding opportunities, but I'm not asking a lot. I'm asking for 4 more. Neil J., my man, coming in from the greater Scotland area. He's a big Auburn guy. Lives over in Scotland. He's actually Welsh, but he lives in Scotland. Says Auburn have the look of a team that can get bored against average teams, but really know how to flick that switch against the tougher opposition. Ward M. Eagle. Do we agree with Neil on this? Neil is he's still learning the game of basketball a little bit because he's from Europe and he loves American football. He's kind of gaining a taste for basketball, but I think he's catching on, guys, and I think he's absolutely right with that assessment of what Auburn is like as a basketball team. Michigan State is not a team to be taken lightly, and I don't think they're taking them lightly. Just like he said. Let's see. Ambitious says, we see how tough the SEC was this year and how weak the ACC was, but they will reward Flag, LOL. I mean, let's be real. Duke's playing some great basketball, and even if the ACC is ass, they're not ass. And it pains me, Ambitious, to say nice things about Duke because I hate them, and I've hated them a long time. But they're a really good ball club, and he's a big part of why they're good because he's a bad man. The other white dude with the bad hair, like the 70s hair, he looks like he works in HR. A guy named Chad who works in HR from 1977. He's good too, but I think Cooper Flag's super badass. Flatpick and jumping in with another super chat. Appreciate that. How crazy is this season? So many elite teams and players. I feel like there are a handful of teams this year that are natty caliber teams most years. We've been talking about that. You're right. I feel like from the very beginning, we felt like there were probably 5 teams that could win a natty this year. Auburn, Duke, Houston. I don't necessarily think we had Florida in there in the beginning, but they definitely deserve to be in there now. I think they have been a little bit better than we expected. And maybe Alabama is a team that we thought could have done it. I thought defensively they were going to have problems, but I never thought we'd see them in an NCAA tournament game score, 50 or 55 or whatever they got against Duke last night. Yeah, Frank G. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know how to say his name. Is it Newpel? Con Newpel or something like that? Makes that team work. If you focus on flag, Newpel will go. He'll go off. He's a player. And somebody asked earlier about Peyton, and then Thomas says Blue Eagle. Nobody cares about Peyton Thorne. Yeah, I think that Peyton will be a guy we talk about in 5 years, kind of like Chance Westry. Like, we're like, hey, man, yeah, remember that? Remember Chance Westry used to play there? And you're like, yeah, kind of. By the way, Westry's back in the portal after a nothing season at Syracuse. I'll be curious to see where he ends up. Knipple. Thank you, guys. Frank G. and Dudley, I appreciate you. I've literally never listened to a Duke game. When it's on, I have it on mute. And I wish there was a volume lower than mute. But I do like basketball, and that dude can play. So, Knipple. Thank you for that. Let's see. Reeland says, I feel like we need a bizarro breakout half, JG. Like a just balls to the wall half, like a whole half that was like that second segment of that first half. That would be awesome. I would love that. Runner 24 says 2-0 season is accused. Like, I think one of those seasons he just like literally didn't play, and then like this most recent season he played just a little bit. Neil says, look at this. Is he catching on, guys? Peyton Thorne can't hit a wide open receiver. He's got no chance of hitting a three. Come on, guys. Is he right? Let's see. Reeland is thinking that Chad Bacon Lasagna could definitely be the X factor to rip this second half open. And God, it's right in front of him. You know, here we go. Just if you stay on the track that you've been on, right, that's a W. And I also was thinking about this last night when I woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't get back to sleep. You know, I have kind of Chuck looks like he's really stressing here. Yeah, CJ says, Jay said Syracuse wrong again. It's Syracuse. And Florida with an A in the middle. I feel like Auburn's performed like decently in this tournament, but not really great. But then you think about it, they beat ASU by 20. They beat Creighton by 12-ish, and they beat Michigan by 12-ish or 13-ish. So you've got 3 double-digit wins. And I realize Alabama State, you're not real proud of that one necessarily, but like they were playing some good basketball leading up to that game. Creighton was playing some good basketball. They're a credible ball club. I mean, you're winning by double digits. And so maybe I'm part of the problem, right? Maybe I'm the one that's like, I was talking to you guys earlier about Janai, his everyday excellence being something that maybe we take for granted. You know, are we being too hard on Auburn and thinking, hey, man, I mean, even now I'm like, they're not playing. They had an incredible segment there, and they played some good ball in that first half, but it wasn't like the greatest half attacking wise or whatever. And it's like that. I mean, you're up 8 or 9, I should say. I'm not a math major. On Michigan State for a chance to go to the Final Four. Like, we should be extremely happy about that. Neil J asks, how many points do you think Auburn needs to win this game? 75 would definitely get it. I think Auburn can easily get 75. All they got to do is hit some threes. I mean, 3 of 13 for Auburn for a half is not great, you know? And I think of Auburn as being a pretty good three-point shooting team. Michigan State, on the other hand, that's not their thing at all. By the way, I do want to see what Auburn's rank is in the three-point range. Let's see. 36.3 is what they shoot from 3, and that's 55th out of about 355 teams. So that's probably top 7 or 8%. They're even better from 2. Free throw shooting is just okay. I mean, I'm talking about Auburn right now. These are numbers that you guys are used to seeing all the time. Turnovers, Auburn is usually really good at that. Remember, they had 15 that last game, which was insane. They had 2 in this half. 2 turnovers in this half. And that's the kind of shit you can deal with when you're an Auburn person, because I'd like to see the numbers, but I think the games where they don't turn the ball over, they don't lose. At Michigan State, I'm looking at some of their numbers that I wasn't paying attention to really before the game. Their steal percentage on defense is very low. They're in the bottom probably 5% of the country, so they're not the kind of team that creates turnovers, and Auburn certainly is not the team that just turns the ball over for shits and gigs. So let's see. What is PF on the stats? That stands for personal fouls. They could just put F there, I guess. But so 6 called on Auburn and 5 called on Michigan State. They had a spate of them they were late, though. I think it was 6-1 at one point, or maybe 5-1. And then Michigan State had a bunch of them called in the last minute. So it almost evened out there, didn't it? Let's see. Spicy Pieces, Miles Kelly learning to dribble or shoot in Atlanta would be awesome. Also, imagine if Chad got over his undisclosed illness. Miles is so good at getting to the rim. It's just anything after that is like a struggle, right? Small Time Republic. I was thinking about this earlier with the Maryland coach, Kevin Willard, going to Villanova. That creates a opening at Maryland that apparently Buzz Williams wants to go take. He wants to fill that vacuum. And I'm with you. He was joking that BP would pack his bags for him. I feel like Buzz has given BP way more trouble, you know what I mean, than you would expect from somebody at Texas A&M. It's interesting like that. What did Reynolds do? He said, I want Auburn to come out so hot, JG, so hot that JG fires up danger zone with 10 minutes left. Oh, my goodness. That would be exciting. That'd be like best case scenario. Ben jumps in with a super chat, my man. 2-minute warning. Let's do this. Do a 2-minute warning sound. We really should, man. We don't get to play some of my favorite songs. You know, in football season, I feel like I can play more sound bites. They're more applicable. I set up so many of them for football, and basketball, we just got the splash and the drop, and we'll probably work out a few more for next year. Or maybe even for the Final Four. I don't know. Let's see. Chip says, I really don't like Auburn's potential matchup with the Florida Gators. Auburn is going to have to earn it. There is no doubt. Florida is playing some great basketball. I still don't know how they got out of that one last night. They really extricated themselves from what I thought was damn near certain doom. But they found a way, man. They found a way. Spicy Pieces, Jay, just be a god one time and tell us what's up with Chad. No way this is a head case. Dude balled out until 6 weeks ago. Like, Spicy. See, this is where I feel like a stranger understands me a lot better than maybe a lot of other people do. Like, personalities, right? I mean, you know people have different personalities. Chad has a particularly flammable personality. I don't mean that necessarily in a mean way. He just gets super riled up, and then he has a hard time controlling his energy. And I think it would be good if maybe he didn't just mainline sugar all the time. He eats those gummy worms and Skittles and shit like that. He's just sugared up all the time, and I just feel like he's a 3-year-old that's just got just ate cotton candy, you know. I think he has a hard time just playing within himself. He's just the antithesis of Denver or Tahad. You know what I mean? And I think it kind of messes him up a little bit about that. Somebody said something about Prime on here. Did somebody ask for the Prime? Because I'd be happy to play it if somebody wanted it. But anyway, I think Chad just has a personality that gets him into trouble sometimes as a player. I don't know. I think some of his outbursts on the floor are a little overstated. I mean, it's really been 2, right? I mean, he's not someone that throws a lot of punches. He's not Rasheed Wallace. But I think as a player, he just gets out of rhythm. Spicy Pieces, I just need to understand what happened. Don't get why the switch flipped in late January. I mean, I don't know. Desperado says, bad nutrition. Can't the staff change his diet? I mean, they could, not really. He's a grown man. He's probably 23 or 24 years old. All right. Second half is about to get underway. 20 minutes away from a Final Four. If they could just keep this going, that would be lovely. We would love to see it. I would be tempted to crack open my Final Four Knob Creek back there that I never thought I would open. I said if they got to another one, I would drink it. Everybody was like, yeah, we'll see. All right, Auburn starts off with a stop. God dang, bro. Can't just tackle people. Jace did mean to, though. He just got a little spun around backwards. Kind of an inadvertent foul. But a good stop from Auburn on defense, and then a good defensive rebound right there from Miles Kelly. Don Properdicken, our only other viewer from across the pond. Don's, of course, in Southern Holland. He says, War Eagle, glad to have Don here. I don't understand what happened there. I was looking at Don's super chat, and then I see Chad going flailing out of bounds. What happened here? Missed opportunity from Janai. Usually a really good passer. Not salty. First of all, you're not an old, because I'm right there with you. And second of all, these in-game interviews are pointless. Absolutely pointless. I mean, first of all, a kid is never going to be a good interview during a game. Like, it's 0% chance. And then if you have BP or, like, Izzo, like, you've got a decent chance. Oh, Denver.
Boom shakalaka.
Auburn trying kind of like their version of misdirection here to try to mess with Michigan State's switching concepts. And Chad definitely got behind him. That was more like a flex cut, and then what Denver did was a little bit different, peeling away from a screen, but kind of like trying a misdirection concept. They have gone inside twice now to try to bruise Auburn inside. Still early to kind of understand if that can actually, Auburn is about to do that little misdirection play. That's going to be a foul on Denver, yeah. Good play by number 1, Fears. And that's 3 on Denver, Ephesians says. I haven't been able to keep up with that. I will definitely check that to make sure. He's been subbed out, so my guess is that that is absolutely correct. Denver 3. There's only one other player that has 2, and that would be Miles Kelly. So the usual suspects like Dylan has 1, Janai has 0, and Chaney has 1. So not a big deal right now. That may be part of what Izzo's thinking here. Dylan with a nice defensive rebound. You'd love to see it. Kind of early for Tahad to be running things, coming out of a halftime, but it's because Denver got its third, but Janai's never going to be able to get that ball to go. This is where Chad's got to be able to hit it. Now, that was a bad pass, and I don't fully fault Chad for missing that shot. Janai's passing has been a little bit off this half. Oh, nice play from Janai. They're going to call goaltending on that? They are going to call goaltending on that. All right, so Michigan State's come out, man. They're bringing it here. Not faulting Auburn's effort at all, but I'm faulting a little bit Auburn's performance. Chad's just been an absolute zero shooting the basketball. I mean, I just don't understand. He's had good looks. It's just like his three-point shooting is not there anymore. So I guess he needs to be taking more floaters and stuff like that. But the way that wing, there's a step back 3 that was, oh my God. Incredible effort from Dylan to keep that alive, though. Another shot from Chad Bacon Lasagna. At least he's going to hit that one.
Splash.
Second chance opportunity orchestrated by Dylan there. That's definitely going to be a key to winning this half. Is second chance opportunities. That will make the difference. They're going to call a bullshit foul on Miles right there. Called one similar to that on Jace Richardson late in the first half. So I think it's being fair. Not salty said you were saying. Can't shoot threes anymore. Splash. I think he's 1 of 4 now. In this game, get him another one, and hey, that's fine. Simo coming in because Miles has got third foul or second. Will it be Man, can you get a softer foul than that? Get the fuck out of here, man. Oh, my word. That's a moving screen on 15. They missed it. It's a travel. It's a good block by Dylan, though. I like that. Oh, Dylan going to finish in traffic. My man.
He's heating up.
It's a nice finish in traffic. Kept the ball high, which I don't think he would have done earlier in his career. Knew to keep the ball high because he ain't going to get it stuffed. If he keeps it high. I just went right in there and finished in traffic. You love to see it. That's really measured defense from Janai. I know he gave up the bucket, but I think that was really good defense. He didn't give up much ground. He didn't foul. Guy made a good shot. He didn't really push Janai any closer to the bucket. So to me, you can deal with that. Oh, Janai lost the ball, though. They're going to call foul and doubles on 0. What is this Richardson doing? He's trying to say they're calling the Chris Porter hook there. Is that what he's saying? Nice job, Dylan. Dylan's playing his nuts off right now. Let's be real about it. No look pass from Chad. Got picked off again, but Dylan was able to make sense of it. All right, so Brian G., thank you. I forgot that Miles had picked up 2 quick ones there. So suddenly you've got some foul issues with Denver having 3 and now Miles having 3. But nobody else even has 2 aside from them. It's just Dylan with 1 and Chaney with 1. So let's think about what this does. That means that Chad Bacon-Lasagna is going to have to stay at wing. And you're going to have to deal with some of his up and downs, right? Because you can't play Miles there right now. And I just don't – they'll play Simo there if they have to, but you know how it is. Okay. And Denver out means that Tahad's got to go full-time, at least until like the 10-minute mark. Maybe the 12-minute mark. I don't know. 10 probably. This is really, I mean, we talk about this probably every other game, but if you had Kai, if you had Kai right now. You don't, but if you did, I'm just saying if you did, of course you could say JG, what if you had JP Pegues right now, blah, blah, blah. So I guess you just kind of, you worry about the car you're in, right, rather than the car you want. But yeah, it'd be nice to have Kai. Donnie's thinking on the same wavelength I am. He says, bring in Kai. I mean, it'd be nice, but can you trust Kai? Let me rephrase that. Would BP trust Kai at this juncture in a Elite 8 game? Like, I don't know, man. I mean, you could in a pinch, and maybe you would if you're up 15 and you're like, hey, if shit goes south, we'll just, we can fix it. We can slip somebody in there. Rob, I think, is wanting to know why they don't trust Kai, and the answer is Kai's at this point in his career not a good teammate. I don't know how else to put it. He's just not a good teammate, and I don't think he's really done what he needs to do to convince the coaches that he's all in on what they're trying to accomplish. Is the diplomatic way for me to put it, and no one said that to me. I'm not quoting anybody. I'm just telling you I have to kind of infer a lot of time, things that are going on, and that's what I feel. Salty says Chad is streaky. Said it earlier. Say it again. I think he's going to go off for a few series. That would be sweet. Rob says chat calling for Kai. I'm going to let BP know. I'm going to text him right now. Dear BP, I know you're in a timeout. Oh, by the way, it's JG. I know you're in a timeout. I was thinking maybe you could play Kai. Is there any way we could do that? Check mark for yes, heart for no. The fan cam is incredibly over. That's a big hat right there on that dude. The fan cam. $32.40. Auburn Auburn going out of bounds under the basket, which is an area that they practice this a lot. All right. I lied. Denver is back in now. He's been told, I'm sure, chill on the fouls. And Tahad with a drive.
Drop.
All right, so Denver's in there with a strict edict to not foul. I promise you that. Chad's going to continue going at wing. Oh, Janai with a nice slapski. That was a really nice pass from Michigan State, plus really good positioning to anticipate that. They saw that Janai was a little bit out of his spot because of that block. And then when they saw Dylan slide outside to pick his guy, they knew that there was an open space inside. Made a nice move there. Smart. Oh, Janai.
Drop. Boom shakalaka.
Nice. Fully extended that left arm to get that ball around the block and into the hole. Great. That's just great body positioning. Body shape. That's just good stuff right there. That's just a badass playing badass basketball right there. Man, that was nice. How about that? Most double-doubles by an SEC player. 5 ties with him for Jeff Moore, which you wouldn't have expected, and Shaq. How about that? Shaq was a bad man. And Janai hits his free throw. Auburn's got an 11-point lead at this point. A very grindy, rock-fighty type game where a 10-point lead is pretty significant. If you can get it to 15, that is a huge lead. Listen, man, I'm okay with that. The defense from Chaney there wasn't awesome, but he competed, and ultimately he's going to make the guy earn it at the free throw line. And at this point, I think that's fine. That's a draw for Auburn. I'm getting to where I don't like this kid. I don't like the way they spell his name, Jackson. If you want to spell his name Jackson, name him after the president, okay? Andrew Jackson. It's Jaxon business. I'm just not about it. Courtney Tate says a bounce pass in the key. She's a huge fan of bounce passes, guys. She likes bounce passes and rebounds. It's a big part of what she's into. 45-35 Auburn Tigers. Still got one at the line. I don't like number 0. He's my least favorite player on the floor. That's a lane violation by 55, by the way. Get the fuck out of here. Are they going to call that on Auburn? Dude, 55 was in the lane like way before that shot was off. Impossible. Chip says lots of Jacksons and Citronelle. It's probably true. Dude, that is BS, man. I don't like that call at all. I'll have to see a replay on that. 55 was so far out in the lane. I don't like Jackson. I don't like the way he spells his name. I don't like his game. I don't like his half mullet. I don't like it. Oh!
Boom shakalaka.
Good God. Oh, my God. Janai actually went for that one. I didn't think he had enough runway to get up high enough, but he did. He was able to get there. And an amazing pass from Chad, too, with a lot of anticipatory leading on that pass, too. Kerning, as they would say in the design world. That was a nice drive from Fiddler, though. That was sweet. It's a good comeback by him. Reminds me of DJ Qualls from Road Trip. Oh, it's not salty, brother. There it was. I don't like that shot at all. It seems like he's perpetually on a heat check, and I don't see a lot of heat. I'm glad they didn't call a foul on Janai right there. He got definitely off his feet. Oh, he just swatted that shit right there. I'm with you, Ephesians. I think Chad's taking a few too many threes. To be fair, I don't. I was talking about Not Salty earlier. Not Salty's not a fan of the defended threes. He's not that at all. Which Tahad just took. But I think he just thinks the chat. Oh, nice little turnover there. A freebie. Miles, hit this. It's a free points. It's free points. Auburn 4 of 19 from 3-point range. It's a silly foul on Janai, although he's got plenty to give. He's not in foul trouble at all. I think that's his first. Yeah, that's his first foul of the game. Still got, Denver's sitting on 3. Miles is sitting on 3. Chaney's got 2, and that's really all that's of note going on here. Ephesians says, man, the advantage is obviously inside. Go there. I'm completely with you on that. And Daniel P., I think you may have already heard me, but that's only 1 on Broom. So he's going off the court, not because of foul trouble, just because he's been playing a lot. So we're going to go to Chaney and Dillon inside, which definitely limits your offensive ability, although Chaney sometimes can sneak up on you. He had a nice little turnaround earlier. And sometimes when he gets assertive, he can be a difference maker inside. Great defense from Dillon again. I'm pretty happy with that. They're going to call some kind of BS foul on Auburn and on a rebounding position. It's going to be on Chaney, I guess. He looks guilty. He just doesn't play with enough confidence, I don't think. We were really hoping he had like this little mid-season push where he had a great game at Ole Miss. He had a few other good games, and we thought this might be the moment that he kind of broke out, and it really hasn't happened. It's hard to do it when you've got so many stars. I mean, Tahad's awesome. Janai's awesome. Denver's awesome maybe every other game. Miles is good every, 5th game. There's a lot of guys that can contribute. That's a makeup call right there. That's my opinion. I know I haven't updated y'all on the stats lately. We really hadn't had a stoppage in play in a while. Yes, thank you. Jordan says moving screen finally called. We've seen a few of those tonight. No, don't take that shot, Chad. Don't take that shot. Great ball movement. Great ball movement. Hit that, Tahad. Hit that ball. My man.
Splash.
Auburn up to 50. Boy, Auburn getting some rebounds now, my man. They are fighting for rebounds. Dillon says, give it to me. Isn't it great how Dillon can have that energy and it's always positive and helps, and then CBM has that same energy, and sometimes it's really helpful and sometimes it's not. Dillon has perfected it. Of course, he's a much different person than Chad is, but yeah, you can have a lot of energy and be a hugely positive element. It can be done. I don't want to give Chad too much trouble. He's not super negative. It's just sometimes he is, right? Tonight, I think he's just letting the energy lead him to take some bad shots, is what I think's affecting him. All right, so we will now get our update here. Oh, yeah, usually we do that. God dang it. Okay, I'll leave this up for the moment. I'm going to go ahead and cut the second half box. Get that ready for you guys, because I love looking at those just to see how things are going in the second half. But some numbers. Let's see. Auburn's got a slight advantage in rebounding, 27-26. I don't think Michigan State can win this game without, second chance opportunities. So if Auburn's going to continue rebounding like this, I think that's going to be enough to stave them off. Still got work to do. Cassidy P jumps in to say, call God on that three-pointer. Saw Janai doing that. Some other guys on the sideline, probably Simo over there. And let me go ahead as you guys are ingesting some of those delicious stats to get the second half box put together. Just to see how things have been going, specifically since halftime. Working on getting those to you ASAFP. All right, by the way, Auburn is their PFF this half is 1.3 points per possession, PPP, I should say. So that is definitely a nice, sustainable, tasty number, and it's definitely a winning type number. Now, this is just for the second half, okay? That's a long time to be updating you guys in the second half, 17-14. Let's see, numbers that we like. 5 assists and 2 turnovers, we can deal with that. 7 of 13 from the floor, we can deal with that. 2 of 7 from 3, not great, but considering they're 0 for 1, we can deal with that. 1 of 1 from the line versus 2 of 2 from the line for them, we can deal with that. So all these numbers to me look like a team that's, hanging in there. And the fact, if Auburn was down 12 and we saw these numbers, I wouldn't be stoked. But the fact that Auburn is up 12 and seeing these numbers, it's kind of it looks like a game to me that's a little bit in homeostasis, and that would definitely be to Auburn's advantage for sure. I love the 7 of 13 from the floor. I mean, that's going to be a winning formula. If they could shoot 55% for this half, Michigan State, I don't think can make it up. Brian G thinks Kai's going to be out there. I would be shocked, but I wouldn't be mad. Other numbers here. Let's see. Yeah, Cassidy P was noting a +1 rebounding margin. He's big on rebounding margin, and I am too. He's kind of convinced me to take more of a look at that. And some of these other numbers where Michigan State's got to have an advantage. JP Pegues right there talking to Janai. Second chance opportunities. Auburn's still +1 this half. Points off turnovers. Auburn's +1 this half. Those are areas where Michigan State's going to have to turn this around if they're going to make a bid. I mean, I don't think they can win straight up here. Dylan, go. My goodness. An ambitious drive. He's going to be okay, but he's going to be going to the line. And as you guys know, it can be an adventure with Dylan at the line. Melee says, homeostasis, osmosis, whatever. Win the possession. My man. Thank you, Not Salty, for encouraging more thumbs up. We only have 51. Blake is here with us. What's up, Blake? He's so positive. I'm going to pull him out here, break him out, because he's such a positive element when he comes onto the chat with us. He's a big football guy, and we're glad to see him here with basketball a little bit, too. Blessed to witness this season with y'all. We are not just here for a Final Four. Let's win the Natty. Love y'all. Look at that. Appreciate you, Blake. You're a badass. So glad to have your positivity around these parts. And I know sometimes it's not noticed as much when they're playing great, but there's been a lot of times, Lord knows, during the fall when Auburn's not playing great, and Blake's always here to have nice things to say and lift us up a little bit. So, call about Glass Chad. One that's funny, man. He's like Glass Joe from Punch Out, right? In the red corner, Glass Joe. Meow. Fight. Yeah, I've actually joked with Clark about that. Clark, the trainer, like, man, you spent a lot of time working on Chad, and he's a trainer. He's not going to joke about it too much, but I think he thinks it's funny that I recognize that. That's a nice drive by Jace again, left-handed. I would venture to say he's like a 70% guy if he gets in that spot. All right, 40-50, 11 minutes to go. You've got pretty much your usual guys out here. You got oh my goodness, Gracioses. Tahad with a pull-up 3 for no reason, and not close. Melee says, are they taping a bag of Skittles to Chad's hand? Beppo, my man, says, in the drain, finally. Ward Amigo, did you not have room? We only work in 200 at a time. I'm just teasing, man. Glad to have you here. Russell says he's so nervous he's having chat shrinkage. Boy, that was a nice move by Fiddler. Couldn't finish, but definitely got Janai kind of going the wrong way, I guess you could say. Auburn playing with a 4-man rotation on. Janai's down. I don't know if it's shoulder or elbow. I think that's elbow, guys. Looks like elbow. He's kind of using his arm to break his fall there. And he probably hyperextended that right arm. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's certainly not writhing in pain. And it's not his shooting hand. So you've got at least a shot here of him being, relatively okay. I'm sure he's not feeling great. Nice defense by him. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't hurt his leg. It looked like his leg landed weird too, but he seems fine there. Yeah, Russell says, look nasty. I'm glad he's not a pitcher, you know. That might be a season ender if you're a pitcher. Let's see what he could do with this. If he could come back in. I mean, if he can, he will do it. I don't understand what he's saying no to. Is it a question of, are you good? And he's saying, I'm fine. Or is he saying, can you play? And he's saying, no way. I don't know. Looks like he's talking to his dad over there and his mom. I don't like the looks of that. But the fact that he's just not in like writhing in pain, though. Denver, that's a shot. Oh, Chaney. There you go. Chaney gets a good offensive rebound there. Let's see. Feel like a stranger thinks he was saying I'm done. Well, that's tough. All right, so Chaney has got, I think, 2 fouls. And they're going to need big boy Chaney. You know what I'm saying? Like Chaney that takes command of the situation and goes after things on the attacking end. He's pretty good on the defensive end most of the time. And rebounding usually isn't a big deal with him, but sometimes he can be a little passive on the attacking end. And with Janai out, he can't be passive. Somebody's got to do that down there. Dylan's not going to be that guy. Another good defensive possession there from Auburn. That ball's flying away. Spicy P says, a broom is done for the year. I may be checked out on Auburn sports. Back to bad times, man. Easy. Melee's correct. He says, Janai's a quick healer. He actually is, man. 9:38 to go. Auburn's up 10. By the way, if you just joined us, Janai is out. I mean, he's out. He went to the locker room, and it looked like he was telling his teammates he ain't going to be back to this game. And he kind of gave Chaney like a mini pep talk on his way out. So that is an interesting point, Tim. It could be Turtle time. Turtle is a guy that I actually love. I think he's got some things he can do. And this might be the kind of team that doesn't have the huge big guys, the dominant big guys that Turtle might be able to be a factor if needed. I think Chaney's a better choice. Oh, that's a foul for sure on Tahad there. Running 24 says deer antler spray. Heard that works well. Come on, that's good stuff, guys. Come on. Vego says get him some Cami Cam juice. Absolutely, that'll fix anything, bro. Tracy Wolfson down the shit out of that stuff. Made her a great sideline reporter. Colby thinks it's got Okiki vibes. It's an interesting parallel. It just puts a lot more pressure on Dylan and Chaney to be fat. Oh, damn. Play by Tahad right there. Dish that. Chaney in the full court. I love it. I thought he was going to have to dish that, and he said, no, I'm going to go high off the glass, and boom. It's a nice play. I mean, listen, guys, let's be real about this. You're going to have to get this thing home with one headlight now. I mean, at least you got a 12-point lead, but this adds complexity to not have Janai in there. God, what a nice shot from Michigan State. Nothing you can do about that. Just nice basketball shot from Kohler. Not related to Wolfgang. Thomas D makes a good point, though. We didn't miss a beat when Broom missed a couple games earlier in the year. That is true. They were able to pick it up, and I think a big part of that was that Cheney really stepped up and was a factor. And that's what he needs to do right now. Although Tahad says, why do we need Cheney? Couldn't finish, though. Should have been able to finish that. He was shooting with his right hand, though, kind of reversing it with his right hand, which is his offhand. Cheney, nice catch up on Fiddler there. Another nice challenge from Dylan. Dylan's playing his nuts off on the defensive end. I think they need to get and start slowing it down a little bit. It looks like they're going to do that here, yeah. Just taking their time. I think it makes sense for them to do that. It's not early enough in the game to wrap it up or anything, but I think to limit possessions would be good. Cheney probably needed to do a pump fake or something there. It was too in rhythm, too easy to anticipate. Great play by Dylan to get in front of 55 there. And Auburn's making it hard for them. That's good. Ooh. All right, 42-52, 7.5 to go. Cheney out. I'm sorry. Janai out. Cheney and Dylan playing balls out right now. They are playing some good basketball. Cheney did get stuffed on that last drive, but things happen. Not a big deal. Interestingly, if I'm looking at some of these advanced stats, I don't even show these to you guys very often. I'm going to do it here just for shits and gigs. I happen to kind of click on this on accident. It shows a game score for Auburn. So it's basically like a grade that they're giving the players based on how they've played so far. And I want you to take a look at this because it jives with what you're thinking is going on. But yeah, this is the if you look at that game score, you can see how the players are doing. And Janai's got a 23, and you got two guys in the sixes and really nobody else. And one of them's Dylan. So that tells you right there. I mean, it's going to come down to Tahad, Cheney, and Denver are going to have to pull this one out. I don't necessarily trust Miles to do it. But yeah, you see that game score. Janai's having one of his really, really great games. That sucks. Let's see. Rob says, if it ain't Kai Howard time, I don't know what to say. Then you don't have anything to say then. Oh, my God. Why did I do that? I don't know. I just went to the wrong screen. I apologize for that, guys. That's my bad. I don't know. I need to get you some hot, fresh stats. Like right now. Accidentally clicked on that advanced analytics page and got excited. I'll go second half box score. This will be our last second half box score of the game because you're going to get down to it. I think the next stoppage in play will probably be around the 4-minute mark. But make no mistake about what's going on right now. They're trying to get this home with one headlight. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The car is the water temperature is rising. The oil pressure is low. You're getting tire pressure warning. And you're just trying to get this bad boy home. And you're not late for you don't miss curfew and your mom doesn't beat your ass for doing it. All right, this is the second half box right here. Tahad is 2 of 6 from the floor this half with 5 points. Janai, of course, was having another fine half. Not getting a lot of rebounds, but was still a factor all the time. Miles is 0 for 1 this half. Chad Bacon Lasagna is 1 of 4. I mean, somebody's got to step up here. Oh, God. So it's 2 things for Janai. I didn't realize he had rolled his ankle also. He rolled his ankle and his elbow. And I think that's the ankle he don't like. He doesn't want to mess up either. I wonder what Damon. He just asked Damon to go. I wonder what he would be asking Damon. He must want an update on Janai. something along the lines of, is there anything he can he help us in any way or something? So let's see if we can keep an eye on if Damon comes back and like what he says to BP or how BP reacts to that. Frankie Fiddler at the line. He's got a 2-shotter because of his drive to the line, his drive right before that break, and he hits both, so 52-44. Yeah, Reynolds is anxious right now. I understand. There's a lot of other dudes on this team, and they've just got to step up. There's just no other way around it. I'd love for it to be Chaney. Just because I love Chaney, it's because he's such a good kid. Yes, sir. He gets one in there.
Drop.
That was a very Janai-like move, except he's going from the other side. He's going right-handed. Well, listen, man, I'm pretty satisfied with the way – oh, boy. I'm pretty satisfied with what Chaney's done since Janai's been out. He's been fine. If he plays like this, I think they're going to be fine. 54-45. What am I doing here? I don't understand what I'm doing wrong here. Like I went the wrong point somewhere. My bad on that, guys. 54-44 is what I'm looking at now. And they're up to 46 now. $54-46. My guy J Dub, I think it's who I got this text from. Yeah, says Broom told Pearl he wasn't okay and teammates to finish the game. Interesting. Let me do a check on Dylan here. Dylan missed a bunny. He's got the ball back, though. Dylan has 2. Oh, that's a big one right there.
Flash.
Chad. There you go. It's not salty. Coming up big in an important moment there. Maintains. I mean, Auburn's able to keep that 11-point lead now. Still double digits. They would be thrilled to win this game, up 11. I think they'd just be glad to hold on what they got right now. I'm happy. Listen, guys, I'm ecstatic about the way Chaney's playing right now. He's getting it done. Dylan, I think, has stepped up his game as well, particularly on the defensive end. He is a problem right now. They think that they can drive on him because I think in the Big Ten they're able to do that against the other bigs, but Dylan's a different animal. Dang, Chaney had a chance on a little turnaround right there and missed it. Backside rebound, easy one for Jace. Missed another bunny. Auburn's making him pay, though. They're making him have to earn these buckets inside. Yeah, Ephesians says Dylan. Janai coming back out. I guess Damon went in there and said, hey, man. Is this going to be like a Willis Reed moment? Oh, shit, he's coming in. He's fucking coming in. Oh, my God, I got a soundbite for this.
Who is swag, baby? Who is? Oh, prime preach.
That's my rally sound right there. You guys might think, what's a SWAC sound got to do with Janai Broom? Well, it's my rally sound. Actually, we should probably play this one. I got a better one.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Introducing in the red corner, the champion of the world, Mr. Sandman.
There he is. Mr. Sandman is back. Let's see what he can do. He's still grabbing that elbow. We'll try to take a look and just see how he moves. He's moving okay with his feet. He did roll that left ankle. Jeez Louise, another just messy ass attempt there. I don't know what that is. Was that Chad making lasagna again? Defense is all wobbly jaw here. But Michigan State just can't shoot. Oh, Janai with a one-handed rebound. They're calling the strong. He's clearly like really fucked up on that right elbow. He's going to shoot, dude. Holy shit.
Splash.
Janai with a 3. Oh, my God. This is like legitimately like the Willis Reed moment. I mean, that's like the Auburn version of Willis Reed. It really is. You're just watching it happen right here in real time. This is the shit. We're going to talk about this 20 years from now. Oh, my God, Chaney. Did you see that fucking play? Chaney Johnson! Chaney Johnson's playing himself a game. They can't lose now. If Janai's going to come out here and hit a 3 like that, they're not losing this game. They're just not losing this game. They're not losing this game. Foul. I'm sorry. I've got it. It's 48 for Michigan State, so it's 12. Sorry about that, guys. Got a little excited. Not Salty says Willis Reed played on one leg. JB is playing with one arm and one leg. You can see he's really hurting, man. I mean, if they can win this game, he's going to get some time off. They won't play again until Saturday. So I would give him almost a full week. Denver, of course. You know what Denver's going to do with the line. He's going to leave you feeling good and satisfied. If you're an Auburn fan, not if you're an opponent. Whew, man, this is insane. This is like legendary shit here. 62-48. 4 minutes to go. We're getting. I'm not going to play it. I'm not saying that, but in reality, we're talking about you're getting close to danger zone time. Michigan State at no point in this game has been a quick fire offense to be able to catch up this fast. They've had some 6-0 runs and some maybe a 7-0 run here and there, but they're not a quick score team, and they haven't been a quick score team in this game. So if Auburn can just kind of keep pace here for a couple possessions, I think you can just kind of choke them out. Chaney. He got fouled, though. Would have been nice if he could have finished that. I mean, obviously Chaney's at 50% at this point. Like, let's be real about it. He is definitely not Janai, but hitting that 3 is just holy cow, man. That's one of those moments. I'm going to go ahead and get a box put up, full game box here. We've got, I can't remember what minute mark we're at here. 3:37. And you're probably, let's say Chaney, you're probably 2 good possessions away from just choking them out. I just don't think Michigan State's got the firepower to catch up real fast. This is not Alabama. This is not Duke. They don't have the scoring punch like that where they're going to score 10 points in a minute. They just don't. They don't have players like that. Let's take a look at this box. This is the full game box again for the whole game. Bego asks if Chaney has another year. I'm trying to remember. Does Chaney probably will not have another year, but that's still being adjudicated. He played in Division II, but if you played JUCO or if you played NAIA, you do get an extra year. But he played Division II, so officially as of right now, he would not get another year. Let's see some numbers we like. Michigan State, 3 of 17 from three-point range. I didn't think they'd be that bad, but they're not a great three-point shooting team at all. In fact, they're a poor three-point shooting team. Auburn, 7 of 24 from 3. That's not awesome, but that's fine. Compared to the other things that are going on. Rebounding is essentially dead even. If you remember, they had a lot of offensive rebounds in the first half. They really haven't had that many in the second half, talking about Michigan State. And if you look at second chance points, Auburn's up +1, 10-9. I said that was a way that was one of the only ways I thought Michigan State would be able to win this game, is to be able to whoop their ass in second chance points, which has not happened in this game. Let's see, assist to turnover. It's 9-7 for them. Auburn has 16 assists on 25 buckets. That's pretty good. 4 turnovers total. Remember, Auburn had 15 turnovers in the game against Michigan. So many uncharacteristic turnovers, too, where I didn't think they were being pressured on the ball, and they just threw it away, but not today. 4 turnovers only, and that is amazing. That is a winning formula right there. And I know Janai's in a compromised state right now, but still, 25 points, 13 boards, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 block, 1 steal. Still somehow only +6, but he sure feels like he's been the best player on the floor tonight. Melee says numbers I like, Wild Turkey 101. I do too. I actually brought up, in anticipation of Auburn possibly winning this game, I brought up my all-time favorite bourbon that I never drink on the air because I never drink it, but it's double-barreled blend, Heaven Hill, Parker's Heritage, 132.2 proof. Absolutely love this stuff. And I don't got much left, but when you win an Elite Eight game, go to the Final Four, that's when you break out some of that shit right there. So I'm looking forward to drinking that if they can hold on and win this bad boy. Look at that. Reynolds says, I'm a 55-year-old man, wife, 4 kids, mortgage, and I still start crying when Janai nailed the 3. Wow. I mean, I'm impressed as hell with Janai. I really am. I mean, it's a Willis Reed moment, but I'm just as impressed with Chaney because I know what that kid's been gone through this year. I know how hard he works, how much he cares, and the fact that he is absolutely sacked up and put together some great basketball when his team really needed him tonight is just massive. Now he goes 1 of 1 at the free throw line where he should have hit 2. But I am really proud of him and proud of Janai too. He's been amazing. And Dylan too. Dylan's played his nuts off too. He's still out there playing his nuts off. Oh, Chad Bacon Lasagna with a steal right there. He's going in. He's going in. I don't know why he's going in, but he's going in. Not salty. What happened there, bro? Oh, man, that's a 2-point screw-up. Right? Actually, you could argue a 4-point screw-up. Slow it down on the attacking end instead of just throwing the ball away, and then now they go down and get a free one in transition because everybody's all messed up because you screwed it up. It's terrible. Terrible game management. Now, Denver, on the other hand, good game management. Come on, Chaney. Miles Kelly could not be more open. He could not be more open. He's got to have that one. Got to have that one. Got to have that one. He had half the court. He had half the court on that one. He actually did. How about that? What a game this has been. And still not really any serious foul trouble. I mean, Denver picked up that third, and Miles picked up that third around the 16-minute mark of this half. And, here we are, 14 game minutes later, 13 and a half game minutes later, and they haven't picked up another one. So that's good. Dylan, hit a free throw, my guy. Come on. There he is. There he is. He has nothing in his knees either. You see the other guys that kind of bend down a little bit with their knees and shoot with their legs kind of. Dylan doesn't do that at all. But he's also really tall. So he does a little bit with his knee there. All right, hit one. 64-52, 2:28 to go. I know some of you guys are probably thinking danger zone, but I'm not yet. I still get anxious. That's a big shot right there. For Michigan State to keep this thing. They don't let Auburn get away, Auburn's kept this thing in the 8 to 12 range, but every time Auburn kind of threatens to get a little bit deeper, a little bit further away, they find a way to get a bucket. And I'm a big fan of these Michigan State guards. They're good players, man. Fierce hasn't been a big factor tonight, but Jace Richardson sure has, and he's been a bad man. And this Jackson Kohler cat, I don't like him. Kind of looking forward to not seeing his ass anymore for a while, if you know what I mean. Russell says 135 seconds to glory. And Don Salty says, no to the danger zone. I want you to know that I don't. It's not like I have my finger on the button here. I'm not. I'm just saying I know that I'm going to start seeing that in the chat, and I want you to know that I'm going to be very slow to allow anyone to win here. Brian G says we have to be careful here. Absolutely. And Chip says I start hacking Dylan. That's really interesting. So I would too. That's a good observation. Does Auburn, knowing that he's a 30% free throw shooter, maybe start going and say, hey, we'll go with Chaney and, well, you can't really put Turtle in this late, but and I don't think they're going to go for Janai either. So, yeah, I guess that's what you got to do. I don't think Suni's that. I mean, she's a good flipper, but she can't do that much. Yeah, A. Robinson says still a lot of game left. I completely agree. They just got to ride with what they got here. I've been saying for a while, they just got to ride this thing home with one headlight. This is not a perfect machine by any stretch. They just got to stay with what they've been doing and just try to get it in the garage at 12:59:59, which is the way it used to be for me. My mom told me I had to be home by 1. This is back before cell phones. She said, if you're not back in this house before 1 a.m., you better be injured. 12:45. I'm in Bixby. Better haul my ass home in a hurry. I can't wait to tell Brody Scholl those stories because he grew up in Bixby. New football player at Auburn. Offensive lineman. No, that's probably my favorite outside of Janai's 3. It's probably my favorite play of the game was that quick dish to the dunk underneath. God, what an amazing moment. That shit must just like really sting or something, you know. So he'll probably come out if they were to win this game. He'll come out in the national semifinal like in a fucking brace or something, you know. I don't know. Be interesting to see how this goes. Schaefer Kia thinks they're going to start fouling Dylan, which I totally agree with. I would do that. What a throw by Tahad. Holy shit. That's one of the 5 best plays of the game right there. Oh, my God. That save from Tahad. Holy shit. 40, what is that, a 40-foot zip pass that's right on the money, and he's diving out of bounds when he does it? Oh, my God. What a play. This throwaway here, unbelievable. Inbounds, weak hand, and zips it to Chad, who immediately dumps it and keeps the ball going forward. Oh, my God. All right, Chaney. I need him to hit these free throws right now. I'm pulling for Chaney like you wouldn't believe, man. This is so big for him. He's been so good tonight. That's the first one. I'm not playing Danger Zone. Spicy P thinks it's time, but I don't think it is. I'm still anxious, man. Chaney hit 1. Gets Auburn to 65-55. We got 1:48 left. Auburn's really just got to manage this. I think they're going to be okay. I just hit a 3. That fucking Jackson kid, who I hate. Now they just got to manage it. You got to clock. Denver, free throws. Oh,
Boom shakalaka.
dude, Denver. It was like, no, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, the body shape on that, man. Cutting off his left foot, shaping to the right, getting that ball up and in. Oh, my goodness. Melee says, danger zone under a minute, don't count. Man, get your ass out of here, bro. We're talking about a Final Four berth here. Jeremy Fears at the line. I don't love this free throw. I don't love this foul situation. They're going to put Janai back in because Chaney's got 4. Still got a minute 20 to go. That's a very conservative choice. I don't understand that. Does Janai really need to go back in? I guess their attitude is the worst thing that can happen is to lose, have Chaney foul out. Oh, Janai can still do so with his left hand, though. That was a huge play right there. What a huge play from Janai to get that ball and keep it in bounds and throw it with his left hand. Unbelievable. He could barely get that elbow. He could barely get his arm up. It's amazing. We were worried about his ankle, and it looks like his ankle's fine. He's moving fine on his ankle. He looks like he's moving fine on his ankle. Splash. 68-58. Denver's as close as you have to a sure thing on the line. Weigel 0008 says it's getting dangerous. You know what he's saying. You know what he's saying. Denver hits it. Melee's putting pressure on me to pull this before the 1 minute. I'm going to give it the danger zone. We're doing it.
The danger zone. This is your redheads, your strippers, anyone named Tiffany. This is where your car gets keyed, you get a bunny in the pot, your tires get slashed, and you wind up in jail.
All right, so just at the right at the 1 minute mark, I went with the danger zone. They hit another 3, so they've hit their last 2. Auburn's still up 8 with under a minute to go. So this is just going to be a matter of managing this and keeping the ball in the hands of Tahad, Denver, Chad Bacon Lasagna, and you could just kind of choke them out, really. Ephesians says, please don't. Bro, we can't go to 1 second left. CJ, you're so young, man. Manage the game. Just manage the game. Just manage the game. Stoop Up says, why? Manage the game, boys. Manage the game. Thank you, Runner24. It says, Big Boy Pants, proper timing on Danger Zone. And Hornation says, dang you, nerd. Schaefer Kia says 318th in threes, and they've nailed 2 of the last 3. They have. It's crazy in the tournament. You see stuff like that, right? They are currently, let's see what they've shot this game. They're 6 of 20 from 3, so that's really not atrocious. I mean, it's 30%. It's not good. Nobody's happy about it, but it's not unbelievable like it was earlier. I think they were at 15% at one time, so they've definitely heated up a little bit. Auburn is 7 of 25, so they're at 28%. And they're behind Michigan State now in terms of three-point shooting, which is kind of weird. Stoop Up really upset with me about the danger zone situation here. Again, you just got to manage this. This is a game management game now. That's a walk, dude. He hopped 3 times right there. Big rebound from Miles Kelly. He's going to be the one going to the line with 43 seconds to go. Some anxious moments there in the full court where Auburn's trying to get out of the pressure. Michigan State had gotten Denver right where they wanted him, right against that baseline with a double team trap. Number 5, absolutely crow hop. 3 fucking times they don't call it. I guess it's Holloman missed the 3, and then Miles Kelly with the rebound, and now he's going to the line. Pretty good free throw shooter, if I recall correctly. 92.2. I didn't know he was quite that good. Colby says, y'all understand the chance they have to come back are astronomically small. Yeah. Absolutely. Jester says, we do understand, but we've also experienced heartbreak. I'm going to give you an applause for that because you're right. You have, and you've earned that right to be cynical. But, just manage the game. Just manage the game. That's all you got to do. Miles Kelly misses the first. I strongly believe Miles will hit the second one. In fact, I'm just going to chalk it up. Yeah, Ravince's wife just came unglued with that missed travel. 3 crow hops, bro. 3. Ooh, Auburn defending here. They got no chance to get a ball off. Oh. Got a tie up, and that's going to be possession Auburn Tigers, unless they call a foul on that. Or they're going to say Miles got the ball. No, they're going to say tie up, possession Auburn Tigers. Good quick-handed move there by Miles. They calling that a jump because Miles definitely had that ball. All right, again, you're just managing the game here. Shit. Bad pass from Denver. And an even worse pass from Michigan State. They just got ahead of themselves a little bit. I think Izzo knows they're cooked, but so that one mistake is not going to end it. And you expect your number 1 point guard to not make that mistake, but it is what it is. CJ, it's too late, bro. It's already been played. Janai Broom in the game. He's going to shoot a free throw with one arm. %59 free throw shooter. That's crazy. He was way higher than that. He spent part of the season in the 70s, as I recall. Janai misses a free throw. I think he's going to miss them both, actually. Yeah, Brad, I'm with you. He says Izzo teams don't quit. They're fighting. They're known to do that. That's a good look right there for Michigan State. And he got it to go. That was like an NBA Jam type 3, the ones that like bang around 3 times and then go in. That like physically couldn't do it that, but he just saw it. So they hit like 3 of their last 5 or something like that, just to kind of get this game a little closer. With 11 seconds to go, though, it's just you just manage this game. Spicy Pieces, goddamn, this feels great, my man. I'm so glad it feels good for you, G, because I know you've been going through it this year. All y'all have football and all that crap. Stoop Up says this is the definition of one headline. I think it is too, man. Honestly, you're just trying to get it over the line, right? Yeah, Melee says, imagine a 19-second danger zone. So puss. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. I did get it off before the 1 minute mark, Melee. You pressured me into it. You bullied me into it. All right, just got 11 seconds left. Just got to get this ball in to someone like Denver or Tahad. Tahad's got the ball now. Ball over to Chad Bacon Lasagna. He throws it deep. It's going to be Auburn's ball with 4.5 seconds to go, 4.3. I don't think Michigan State's got a path out now. Izzo says, "Fuck it, it's over. Don't foul him." And there it is. There it is. The Auburn Tigers win the South Region and earn a bid to the Final frickin' Four. Second Final Four ever for the Auburn Tigers. First one was in 2019, a Final Four that we really didn't see coming. And then this year you got a Final Four that we kind of did see coming. Looks like Chad's crying, actually. Wow, this was one we could see coming, right? We kind of thought that as this team was kind of cranking along and playing some really, really good basketball, that we were talking about Final Four or bust. And honestly, you know, when you get to this point, you get to the Final Four and you just see what happens. Pipes is happy for you guys. I love having Pipe here. We were pulling for Purdue. And they're not going to make it this year, but the Auburn Tigers are. Of course, Purdue made it last year. Thomas D, of course, shows up right here in a great moment for Auburn basketball and shits on everybody. He says, now we lose to Florida. What a dick. 2 thumbs way down to Thomas. Should I just ban him? I hate that negativity, bro. It is an interesting one. Of course, those of you in the chat, we've got a lot of people in here now, but a lot of you guys know the fact that Florida is coached by Tom Golden, former Auburn assistant, and someone that BP likes a whole lot. So that's going to be an interesting one. And Duke and Houston, 2 teams playing some great basketball. Shit, everybody in this group's playing great basketball right now. You got to win 4 in a row against the best teams in the country to get here. Tim the Tool Man, my man, comes through with a super chat to say, now we can laugh at Bama and the Volunteers. Let's go ahead and give it a laugh. Let's go ahead and give it a laugh. And CJ jumps in as well. Look at that. BP's already got his Final Four hat on. Says, I called this early in the season on a call-in. This team made it. CJ was very early on. Felt like this team had Final Four ability. This is before it became such a wide-known fact that they were this good. So give him some credit for sure. Let's see. War Eagle is calling for a ban on my man. Schaefer Kia is calling for a ban. If he says one more thing, I'm going to knock his ass out, all right? Definitely. I do want to get these. Yeah, I'm going to ban you, Thomas. I'm just sick of it. I don't like it. I'm going to ban him. He's gone. I'm just done with it. Really, really great moment for Auburn basketball. One of the great moments of all time. And we're not going to spend it being all negative Nancy about what's coming up in the Florida game. You got to the Final Four. This is huge. We saw Janai Broom playing through a gnarly elbow injury. He's in pain. You can tell this. And Chaney played great. Tahad had a great first half. I thought Dylan played his nuts off this whole game. Like, there's a lot of commendations that need to go around. But what I want to do right now, they're like, Janai's like, don't grab me in the elbow. God dang it. 70-64 is going to be the final. I'm going to get this last box score up so we can kind of pour over some of these stats. You guys are probably watching this situation on CBS. Unfolding as Tracy Wolfson interviews Janai Broom, the man himself, 25 points. With a severely compromised right elbow. The good news is that he plays with his left hand, so this maybe he'll be able to, help some or quite a bit in the game against Florida that is upcoming on Saturday. There's your final box score. Janai Broom, 25 points, 14 boards, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 block, and 1 steal. Chad Bacon Lasagna had some important plays late, but not a huge factor, even though I was just talking about him. I don't know why. Tahad, 10 points on 4 of 12. 1 rebound, 3 assists, no turnovers. You'd love to see that from your point guard like that. Better in the first half than in the second, but whatever. And some guys that I think are super clutch. Freddie Joe from Dubuque, Iowa, is not even going to care about what Chaney's numbers say. 3 of 7, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 0 assists, and 1 turnover. But I'm telling you, Chaney Johnson was huge in this game. Dylan Cardwell was huge in this game. Absolutely massive. 5 points on 2 of 3 shooting, but 6 boards, 2 blocks, incredible defense from start to finish from Dylan. He challenged so many shots. He made the defense pop, and I'm telling you, he was a factor in this game, without a doubt. A serious factor in this game. We got some people, let's see, in the chat. The chat is fired the F up in this one. Jordan says, now we got to get Janai in bubble wrap until next week. Let's get a laugh for that one. I have got to tweet this out on Twitter real quick, so let me make sure. I don't necessarily do this a bunch, but I want to make sure this gets out. Because Brian's out there cranking stuff. Stulte and B-Mad are already going. We've got a game story out. Those guys are unbelievable. Let's see, JC jumps in. Being an Auburn fan is enough negative moments. No need to look into the future and make up one. Be present and enjoy the night. 100%. I banned him. We won't be hearing from him anymore. And actually, the way the bans work in this is that when I ban somebody, I got to physically let them out. So he won't be posting again here probably ever. That's a wrap. Daniel jumps in to say, War Eagle again. Appreciate you, my man. Give you an applause for that one. He is he jumps in at the end of games. I mean, I know he's been here the whole time. It's not like he's a Johnny come lately, or a Danny come lately, but appreciate you jumping in here with that super chat right there. And yes, huge moment for the Auburn Tigers for sure. It is. Someone was mentioned earlier in the chat. It feels a little different just because we kind of thought that this is where they were destined to go. I mean, they were number one for 2 straight months, essentially. Whale D asks, anyone know where we can watch us cut the nets down? That's a great question, and it's something I would like to have on my TV, actually. Don't know that. Jacob G says, I love you, Jay. Thank you, brother. And I love this team. Another amazing accomplishment, and I'm so proud of our boys. It's such a great game. And to see them pull this out and have this moment is it's very, very satisfying for, I think, all of us, really. For me, too. Not Salty says, be where your feet are. That's great advice, no matter who you are and where it is. Cassidy P with a super chat says, we play our game and win. We play their game and win, whoever they are. We remain dangerous. Let's play with some freaking anger in this Final Four. We win the whole damn thing. Let's give them an applause for that. I love that. You're making me want to run through the wall, my guy. Let's see. Best streamer, JG Tate, Desperado. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being here, part of our family. And T-Roy says, another game, another drain. This team never ceases to amaze. Beppo, 2 wins, 2 champions. And wow. I'm telling you guys, to me, and I've said this long before Auburn got to this point, getting to the Final Four is the accomplishment. Now, Natty is insane. But once you get to the Final Four, things go crazy and haywire, and it's damn near impossible to predict what happens. So you get there, you play as confidently as you can, and you just see what happens. And to me, this is crazy. I mean, you think about the day that BP gets hired at Auburn in 2000, whenever that was, 13 or 14, and he says, we're going to compete for championships, and every coach says that. I did not believe him. I thought it was a great hire, but it was still Auburn basketball. And, I mean, Barbie had just killed it, right? And he had help. I mean, Lebo wasn't really helping, but Auburn basketball was at low tide. It was tied with Mississippi State as the worst program in the conference. They couldn't piss a drop, couldn't win shit. They'd go 4-14 all the time in the league. And he shows up, and now they got 2 Final Fours. They got what? 3 regular season titles, 4, 2 tournament titles. It's just, he's the greatest coach in Auburn basketball history, period. And that's all there is to it. Chip jumps into the super chat, my man. $4.44. That's pretty damn clever. I love it, man. Give it an applause for that. Chip, of course, is on a do not super chat list because of all the things he does for the show and for us and for the auburnsports.com community. But we appreciate him at all times, in all situations. And thank you for that, my man. Sad Auburn fan says, can football do this to us yet? I mean, yeah, the potential's there. It's there. And Desperado, I completely agree with you, my man. He says, whether they win again or not, this is a great accomplishment. It absolutely is. I mean, Final Four is where you're trying to go. Final Four is where you're trying to go, and you got there. And now you're going to take on the Florida Gators, who are playing some great basketball, obviously, coached by Todd Golden, former Auburn assistant. a team that won inside Neville Arena earlier this year at a time when Auburn was really playing at its best basketball, although it's playing some good ball right now, but won in Neville Arena at a time when I was like, that's tough. Chip, again, on the Do Not Super Chat list, and still comes through again with his grades to say Janai A+. Can't argue with that. He was amazing today. Had a double-double in like the first 12 or 13 minutes of the game. Dylan A+, I completely agree. I know the stats don't necessarily show that out, but it was the credibility on defense and the effort that he played. 24 minutes. He finishes +1 in the plus-minus, but I just don't care. I know what I saw. And I know Dylan Cardwell was an absolute beast tonight. Chaney B+, dinging him a little bit for the missed free throws, which I think is completely fair. 2 of 4 from the line for a guy that's like 75%. I know statistically it's probably ±1, but they came at a time where you really needed him to hit him, and he wasn't quite there. But I love the way that he came in and gave them a lot of presence when Janai went out and hit a couple buckets and played credible defense in light of Janai being out. Absolutely huge. Tahad B+, to me that's a little bit high, but played 27 minutes, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, was definitely a factor in the first half, more so than the second half. An incredible performance, no doubt. I would probably give him a B, but I respect where you're coming from there. Miles Kelly B-, always a good defender, always gives you a lot. And I remember I was crusading for him to have rebounds in the second half. And look at that. He came through. 6 rebounds for him. I think he had 1 in the first half. So he was a factor. And listen, man, when he cracks 5 rebounds in a game, it always leads to good things for Auburn. It just helps a lot when he gets those rebounds. 3 assists and no turnovers for Miles. So shooting-wise wasn't there, but everything else about Miles' game tonight was really good. I'm good with a B- on that. Chad Bacon Lasagna, C+. Just give or take, whatever. I don't really care. I mean, he was frustrating and also good. Denver gets a B, big drives, defense, and 4 of 4 free throws. Of course, he's like a 95% free throw shooter, but he earns that. 2 of 6 from the floor, 8 points, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, not great, but he's a factor, man. And the fact that he can deliver free throws for you in the clutch is huge, and he did. Simo just didn't really play too much, but he was a factor. It's so interesting that Auburn has tightened its rotation so much. I hear from a coach who loves depth, but he's going with the guys that he knows are going to be there, and they're gonna turn up for him every single night, and he's got the rotation down. So let's see. Frank G says I would give Chad Bacon Lasagna a B. He had some good assists late that were key. Chad finishes with 5 assists and 0 turnovers. Good eye there, Frank. And I think in light of what you're pointing out there, I might change my mind on that. 2 of 10 shooting is not great. And I thought some of his shots, particularly in the first half, were way too harried and out of rhythm and just didn't work with what they were trying to accomplish on the attacking end as a team. But you're absolutely right. 5 assists and no turnovers from a guy that had his hands on the ball a lot tonight. That's really clutch. And for the team, 6 turnovers for the whole game. That is more like what I'm talking about, right? 15 turnovers against Michigan. We were all just like, what the hell is this? Like, that's so many turnovers for Auburn. They come back the next game with 6 turnovers. That's great. Again, Michigan State's not a great turnover team. They don't create a lot of turnovers, but Auburn didn't fall victim to any problems tonight, and they just played some good ball. Cassidy P says, CBS coverage is beyond frustrating. Nothing on TV or Paramount Plus. What a piss poor offering. You have to go to, I guess, Auburn's social media when they're able to get that stuff out for some of that stuff, but it sure would be nice. Daniel P says, Croc is back. He is back, I guess, on the bunk, which you love to see. Been hoping that Crocky would come home, so to speak. And I'm happy to see that he can't, even though he's been away for a little while, he ain't going to stay away. Amazing. Our game thread has 23 pages, which is exactly what it should do. Just checking out the board at auburnsports.com. And Spicy Pieces, 4 number 1 seeds is wild. That's right. It's everybody, right? It's Houston, Duke, Auburn, and Florida. So everybody's a number 1 seed. That means it's, big dogs, everybody there. Russell says, we're rolling tumors twice more after tonight's drainers. take it to the bank or the trees. Frank G, thank you. I will do that right now. I did bring it. I didn't want to talk to y'all about it before the game because I didn't want to jinx anything. But this is my favorite bourbon of all time. It's called Parker's Heritage Double Barreled Blend. This is like a special Heaven Hill bourbon, and it comes across the street. I think this is his favorite too. It's just amazing bourbon. 132.2 proof, so you don't really want to pound this one. This will make you Old Miss drunk in a hurry. But I only have this left, and you can see I don't have a ton left in this bottle. And then I have one more bottle that's unopened, and that's it. And they don't make the stuff anymore. So I saw one sell in Birmingham last week for $650. Now, that is not what it cost me because I bought this 3 years ago, but it tells you how hard it is to replace. I don't even like coffee, and it has like a coffee nose, and I love it. Let's see. I know we got a super chat coming through from the man himself, Cleveland Brown, the master of hydration. He says, Auburn is ready for more. On to San Antonio. Stay hydrated. Love you, Drainers. War effing Eagle, my man. Let's give him an applause for that. Darkside said 132 proof. Damn. Yeah. This ain't soft. Ah, man. So good. It don't taste that hot. Sometimes you get 110 and it tastes like 140, and this is 132 and it don't taste that hot. Russell says, like an angel peeing on your tongue. Interesting way to put that, my man. I'll have to give you one of these.
I want to wrestle you so freaking bad. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
Let's see. Brent says the early line is Florida -2.5, which I think is fair because Vegas is going to have questions about Janai's availability and what he's going to be able to provide this team. Obviously, he's super, super important with what Auburn accomplishes everywhere, defensively, attacking-wise, blah, blah, blah. Cassidy P says, JG, love that one and still have a bottle left. Yes, I cling to my unopened Parker's Heritage double-barreled, like a child. Let's see. Philip Harrell says, why are y'all giving this loser money? What a grifter. I guess he's talking to me, talking about me. Uh-oh. Is this an angry Michigan State fan? Is that what it is? Ephesians says AU is actually the underdog this time. How often does that happen? Like damn near never. That is it's going to be interesting. It's something that BP is absolutely going to be talking about a bunch. He will definitely be hitting that without a doubt. Carter, my man, says Auburn by 6, War Damn Eagle. I'm going to check with Sir J-Head. Because apparently he does a show over there with Jay Lee on 3, and I don't know. He said he was going to probably end up doing that tonight, which I think is more of like a recruiting show. But all right, well, I'm not really going to be cool with you calling me a grifter. That's kind of bullshit, dude. I've been doing every single game this year, and these folks have been with me the whole year. So first of all, welcome to the stream. We're glad to have you for our probably 33rd stream of the year. And whatever. Have a nice day. You're gone forever. Don't ever come back. We'll deal with the 99.999% of people who are cool here. Trip says, it's just so good on the lips. That's exactly right. I do want to show you guys one thing. So now we're in a situation where I've got this Final Four bottle from, well, I'm going the wrong direction. Yeah, from the first Final Four. And I said, I don't know how I could ever open that. And we kind of talked, almost facetiously on the show. Like, the only time he'd ever open it, JG, is when Auburn gets to the next Final Four. And it was like, yeah, I'd open it for the next Final Four. Is that what we're going to do? I can't open it tonight, but I never thought I'd open this bottle, but it's something we got to think about. Let's see. Bruce Pearl is all the daddy you need. Says that was payback for sending us Peyton. Oh, that's funny, man. That's funny. Terrence says JGT being a grifter means you are the smart one. LOL. I guess, man. I don't know why that people have to be mean like that. I just hang out and have fun, and I try to be positive, and then you got somebody that wants to call me a dick on here. I don't know. It's just the way it goes sometimes. Chris J says, just another Final Four for the undisputed best basketball program in the state of Alabama history. Anyone want to argue with that? That's what I thought. Alabama got to their first Final Four last year to tie with Auburn, and now Auburn's ahead. So that's a fact. Them's facts. I don't know what else to tell you. I was checking with J-Head. Let's see. He hadn't answered me yet, so that makes me think that maybe he don't have maybe he is on the air. Stoltze has a picture here of Hugh and BP embracing there on the court. Hugh, of course, huge fan of BP. And I think that has had some conversations. When I say I think, he's had some conversations with BP about, hey, man, how do I build more like you? You know what I mean? Like, because BP is just so uniquely, he just engenders, like, positivity among a fan base in a way that, like, Hugh is kind of good at it, but not as good as BP. I'm not sure there's many that are as good as BP. Also, Super Chat coming through from Tiger Wild 34, my man, who's taking a break from the bunker, as I recall, but said he had to check in and say, heck yeah, war, damn eagle. Tiger Wild, listen, man, you're a very credible dude. Very credible. With I think one of your last posts on the bunker. I hope you come back one of these days, my man. And I appreciate that very much for you being here with us and hanging. By the way, A. Taxman says The Grifters, great flick in the film noir genre. I believe that was Angelica Houston was involved with that too, right? She's a hottie, so there's no arguing that. I like her better as Morticia Adams, but I can take her in Grifters too. I got a pic from, it may not be one I can share. Oh, it is one I can share. From Sir Cassidy P, who says he is enjoying one in solidarity with me tonight. There's his bottle of Parker's double-barreled blend. An outstanding bourbon. And his is also 132.2 proof. I guess they all are. I'm gonna have another little nip there. You guys, it's one of those days, man. It's one of those days. Catherine wants to know, why don't we get to see Auburn cut down the nets? I know, right? The Houston fans all got to see their team do it. But because Auburn was the late game, they don't get to see it. It's frustrating. Let's see, Chip says, I didn't take the grifter comment as a dig. He followed up with a WDE. Wait, so if he calls you a dick and then he says, word, I'm eagle, it's all good, Chipper? Come on now. Let's see, Whale Driver says, Pearl is the most popular guy in Auburn. I would have said that before tonight, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Politically, you have to love him. No, you don't have to love him politically, but you can definitely love him for what he can do, man. He's a consensus builder. He's a positive person. He understands how to talk to people, which is a dying skill, as you guys know. And, 61 minutes fake news more important. Yeah, it's sad. It should be on, like, Paramount Plus is where it should be. I understand you don't want to leave it on CBS, but there's got to be a place. I mean, come on. Jackson jumps in, one of our football super chatters. We love him. Great part of the community. Holy shit, we did it. Just bought flights. Will you be there? I will not, I don't think. Even though Kanuman was super active about trying to get me out there, because I can't, I'm not going to be able to get in the game, but like, I could just go and do shows from San Antonio, but excuse me, guys, but I don't think it's going to work. Keith says, last question, when are you coming back to Huntsville? I don't go to Huntsville. I go to Madison. Although me and D-Lucky sometimes venture into Huntsville because of SIP, and we like going to SIP, and we will sit there and sip and sip. We've had some good nights there. He says, first drink on me. I appreciate that, my man. And if we're going to do that, you got to let me know how to. First of all, I'm not going to take you up on that. I'd be glad to give you a pour or get you a pour. But you got to let me know in the bunker if there's a way you can kind of let me know who you are, what your handle is there, so I can kind of get that coordinated with you. Because D Lucky and I, when we go, we love having folks with us. So I know we talked about. I know for a fact I'm going to be doing a Auburn event up there in Huntsville in like July, I think it is, or maybe August. But I'm hoping to do a Bunker Bourbon event before then. Our next event is going to be in Orange Beach, and then we're going to do one in the early summer. It's going to be in Madison, or it's going to be with the Madison folks. But I'm happy to mingle with the Huntsville people as well, particularly if you're part of the crew. Real Deal, also part of the crew. And Alpha Tiger is here with us tonight, one of our great Solo Tigre says a Sip, formerly the Nook. No, Sip is downtown. Nook is not downtown, but we love the Nook as well. JWM says Natty Light for me, Jay. Hey, man, no judgment, man. Keithner says, bet I'll hit you up on the bunker. I am actually in Madison. Dude, I didn't know you were part of the Madison Mafia. D Lucky is, Easterwood, AU256 are all part of the Madison Mafia. And even though I'm not, don't live there and I'm not from there, I have been adopted officially by those guys, and I represent Madison at all times. So I'm glad to. I hope that we can add you to the crew and make you part of the family. Chip says, no inside March Madness with Chuck. Wish we could ban CBS. How is this possible? Like all the post-game shows they've done this year, they're not doing shit right now when Chuck needs to be celebrating his Auburn Tigers? That's crazy. I can't believe it's actually going down like this. Feel like a stranger jumps in with a super chat. My man, we still dancing in the streets. Broom is a warrior. Yeah, this is some shit we'll be talking about 20 years from now. Like, actually, I have to say it now. Probably best Auburn college career ever. Talking about everything Janai's done from the minute he got here until tonight, or whatever happens after this. He probably as a curriculum vitae, right? Probably the best there is. Cardwell played like a champion. He took a lot of shit over the years, but not from me. Hey, young lady. Administrative assistant in the house. How did that go? Good. Hold on, I got to turn you on. Am I good at that? Courtney was at the bar, I think, for this game. Or for a lot of it, anyway.
Whole time.
And were people fired up?
It was pretty raucous.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Listen, man, Dylan, I didn't give him shit early on because I thought he was going to be really good. And when it turned out he kind of found his niche, which was not being a really good player, but still being very valuable. Yeah, not a lot of shit on this channel from him about him. You know what I mean? But you were definitely on the front end of that, feel like a stranger, and you correctly identified that he was going to be a really useful player. And golly, he sure has been. And what else can you say about Janai? He's badass. San Antonio bound, Ravin says. We played a good game with great effort today. Once again, we can still play better, and we still have to play better for the next two games. Very proud of our players, coaches, and staff. War damn Eagle. Ravin, we love that guy. Representing the great state of Florida. Some call it the Sunshine State, Courtney.
Correct.
Correct, Amundo. Stupup jumps in with us. I appreciate you, Ravin. I'll be seeing you before too long. Stupup says, thankful. That's the overwhelming feeling. Thankful for Auburn basketball. Thankful for my family, the Drain family, and for you doing this, JGT. Man, if it wasn't for you and the other legends that jump in this chat with me every single game, and I don't want to call out names because people will be left out, and it's not fair. There's probably 50 of you guys that are here with me every single game. When we were on Monmouth, we were doing this, and Stupup, you're definitely right in there in the front. Been a huge supporter of me going to streaming in 2018, and I just appreciate you, bro. Glad to have you here. Always on the chat, on the bunker. You've been a huge part of the whole thing. Ryan S., former Auburn football player, but he loves the round ball too because he loves Auburn University. It's not just about a sport at Auburn; it's about loving Auburn. He says, "War effing Eagle. This team definitely exceeded expectations." Of course, Ryan knows a little something about exceeding expectations, because he played on a few teams that exceeded expectations as well. Happened to be football teams at Auburn, but what a badass that guy is. We got to meet him at it was one of our COVID events in Huntsville, where we still had to space out, Courtney. I don't know if you forgot that.
It's been a minute.
But Ryan was there with his bride, and at that time, a baby. But I bet that baby's grown up.
Did the Auburn Tigers lead the entire game?
Did they lead the entire game? I believe so.
I thought they did, but I was busy doing other stuff too.
It's a great question.
For some reason, I think they did.
No, Michigan State led for 22 seconds,
Oh, okay.
which is not very long. And Auburn led for 36 minutes and 49 seconds. So, yeah.
Okay.
But, it's pretty close. Hornatius just says in the chat, penith. Penith, Courtney. What do you make of that?
No idea.
Does that mean he's short on one?
Tuna can.
Keithner, my man, says, thanks, brother. War damn eagle. Keithner, we did not know this until just moments ago, but he's part of the Madison Mafioso. And we're glad me as a associate member of the Madison Mafioso. Stoked to welcome you to the family, my man. Says Frank says Michigan State was up briefly like 9-8 or something like that. And they led by 2, Terrence says, at one point. So there we go. Oh, Auburn was down 8-6 before a 17-0 run.
Ouch.
Yeah, I got him away. Let's see. Terrence says you should do a drain on location for the Auburn, Florida game. Maybe Voodoo Wing Company. It ought to be in San Antonio because I covered a Final Four in San Antonio in 1998. But it's not going to happen because we're not going to have – they don't add credentials like that. Cassidy P says we might reach COVID drain level next weekend. Do you really think so? That'd be amazeballs. I'll be fired up. D. Lucky jumps in, who is the main guy from the Madison Mafioso, and says, one of us, my man. If D. Lucky says you're in, Keithner, then you're in, and that's all there is to it. Boy, if we've got COVID drain, that would be awesome. Actually, our numbers on the COVID drains were like around where they are right now, if I remember. What were they?
I honestly don't remember.
The biggest drain we ever had was the Ole Miss drunk night, which was like 1,500 people.
That was
and
crazy.
Courtney was out of town, and I was blown away. I was drinking Stag, was pounding Stag all night.
It didn't turn out so.
And Auburn found a way to win a game against Ole Miss, and I got drunk as shit. I don't remember the last hour and a half of that stream. I don't know. We probably shouldn't be doing that anymore.
Did you pour the Parkers?
Yeah. You want to sip?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've had some of that. Special occasion.
Yeah, it really is. Melee says Dick's Last Resort in San Antonio. I like that place. They like to insult me by calling me fat and cross-eyed. I'm like, yeah, I haven't heard that before.
It has such an amazing nose on it.
It really does.
That is good.
The only bourbon with a better nose, I think, is Old Forester 1924. Glad you enjoyed that, Miss Courtney.
Delicious.
Hayden jumps in with another super chat. This guy, unbelievable. We feel like we've watched him grow up before our very eyes. So happy for these guys. War Damn Eagle, JGT, hashtag pray for 4, hoping that Janai. That was my actual cat. I was not expecting that. AU Taxman says JG succumbed to peer pressure from Hornatius that night. I don't remember that. And Terrence says, but did you learn from that night, JG? I did. Yeah. I've had some nights where it got pretty lit, but Courtney usually always says, hey, you need to wrap it up or whatever. And, yeah.
Me being out of town was the problem.
I feel like I asked somebody to sit with me and they didn't do it. Or was that later? Oh, no, I remember when that was. So that was the Cal night. Auburn played Cal on your birthday, right? Was it like 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, that was when. No, that was 2 years ago.
2 years
that was
ago.
Last season.
And that was like a late kick, and you weren't here to help me, and Cuz ended up coming back to kind of sit with me to make sure that Hornatius didn't lead me down a bad road. Hayden says we've upgraded to real life sound effects. That's pretty funny. There he is, real deal, the aforementioned. It says War Eagle boys, we draining on the Final Four, draining all the way to the Final Four. Absolutely, sir. And I Melee, appreciate you, real deal. I did name drop you earlier when we found out that Keithner is a Madison Mafioso member. And I mentioned that we also have some friends in the Huntsville side, including Real Deal and others. Dob da Bomb. Good people as well. No, I take it back. Canoeman. I will share some Canoeman
Photo ops.
Yeah, Knuman, of course, is there. And I appreciate you, Real Deal. Knuman is there, and he is sharing photos from his perch inside the arena there. And you can see, looks like Tahad and Marquise, maybe. Yeah, I think that's Marquise and Tahad there. They're getting their because we were talking about we need to see them cutting down nets and they make it hard on you when they don't show anything in the daggone show. And that's the Parker's Heritage. There's another one from Knuman is where showing the South Regional Champions on the scoreboard there at State Farm Arena. And I think we'll just leave this up, man. That's just a nice picture. You love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Real Deal says, tell Courtney I said hello from a Real Deal.
Hola.
And another father. Oh, let me rephrase that. He's a father again. I should say that. He's significantly ahead of me because he has 3 now. Russell says, Bryce says, whose nets? These nets. As he cuts them down. You love to see it. Chip says, CBS will probably try to copyright you. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Also give me this one.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
Knuman says, I'm sorry, Cassidy Pieces, thank you to Knuman for sharing this photo that we're displaying here, and I like it. I love that picture, actually. Thank you for that, sir. Goose Flat says, JGT, do you think we have a better team this year or the 2019 Final Four team? In my opinion, I think we do this year because of our depth. If I counted right, we play about 9 different players, maybe more. No, typically Auburn plays 8. Now, today they played 8 with Simo being the 8th, and he played like 8 minutes or something like that. Let me see what Simo played. Played 9 minutes as the 8th man. But boy, it's tough, man. That's like choosing between kids. That 19 team was really led. I mean, if you talk about the whole season, they were led by Chum and the guards. But then Chuma went down, and then they were led by the guards. So, and then this team's got pieces all around. I mean, you got Janai as a power forward. You've got Tahad really coming into his own as like a combo /1. You know, Denver's had his moments. Miles has had his moments. Defensively, this team's definitely better than that ball club was. So, I don't know. It depends on what you like. And I love the defense this team shows, though. I mean, when they got to lock down, they can lock down some people. And they did some dirty stuff to Michigan State today, honestly. I thought the defense was damn good. And I don't think the 19 team, they just tended to outscore people is what they did. D. Lucky, the legend himself, jumping in with a super chat, says, what a team, what a season. Ward Amigo, drink up, peeps. D. Lucky, of course, not afraid of the bourbon. Not afraid of the high proof stuff either, Courtney.
It's delicious.
D. Lucky, of course, royalty around here at auburnsports.com headquarters. Got a whole bedroom named the D. Lucky and Mrs. D. Lucky Suite. And even when we have folks come and visit, I ask D. Lucky for permission for people to stay in his suite up here. Because we think that much of him and his wife. Absolute legends. EU Taxman says, Broom is currently cutting down the nets. You love to see it. Take an espresso shot, nerd. I like that Hornatius is adapting. Because Hornatius, much to his credit, that we have championed him very much, he's been sober for a while now. And very proud of him for making that choice in his life and sticking to it. That is not easy. What a badass. Justin, this is a much better way to phrase the question. How do we feel about Florida Part 2? Now, and as opposed to the dude earlier who said, gonna get our ass beat by Florida, blah, 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 blah. Florida's a good team, man. They got a lot of depth, and I think the problem for Auburn, so in the game at Neville Arena, they made a little adjustment. First of all, they shot the ball well in that game. Second of all, they made a little adjustment when they did like a half roll around screens, ball screens, and it took Auburn a little while to adjust to that, probably too long. And then when Auburn did adjust to it, they started driving Auburn downhill. And so that was the first team to really try that little trick to kind of work on this, take advantage of the way Auburn was defending some screens. Todd is that kind of a guy. He's a technician when it comes to strategy. he and Burgo, I think, are equals. Mike Burgomaster, who's Auburn's offensive coordinator, is a incredible X's and O's guy, in addition to just being a good dude. Todd Golden is a great X's and O's guy, too, in addition to being a great guy, in my opinion, and also a really good recruiter. Burgo hadn't really had an opportunity to do much of that. So you've got two of the people in my life, in my opinion, two of the best X's and O's guys in the entire game going to be going back and forth here, right? So that's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, honestly, I think Florida would get the edge because I don't understand what Janai can and can't do at this point. I mean, has he got, a major elbow injury here, or is it something where he can get back to 75% or 80% or 90%? I don't know. In time for this game. The good news is that it's going to be Saturday, and he's got a lot of time. These kids, they're not 52-year-old men like me. They are young, and they stretch all the time, and their bodies are very resilient. Hopefully he can come back and be ready for that game to some degree. I strongly suspect he will be. It's just a question of, how available will he be? Terrence, you make up a great question. Why don't we bring up the box score from that first game? Let me see if I can find it. Now if I type it in, everything's like, this game's coming up or whatever. It's taking a minute to populate from Auburn's page. I don't like this is a difficult thing to show, I guess. I guess we can show kind of like Florida's stats, I guess. I don't like the way they do this. But I think you can get kind of a general feel for what's going on. I can't do this. I can't do this right now. Auburn's stats are just kind of weird. They're all over the place. Ephesians asked a question. Is this the most wins in Auburn basketball history? Great question. I can get you an answer for that pretty quickly here. The 19 team was 30-10. And this team is now 31-5. So no, they're going to be 32-5. So this has got to be a record, right? Is this the second team ever to crack the 30-win plateau for Auburn? They were 29-4 in 1999. The 03 team I really liked, but they only won 22 games. They kind of got hot at the right time. The 2009 team was kind of cool too, but 24 wins. And then 19 was 30-10. And this team is now 31-5. So, 32-5, I should say. So, this has got to be a record. Yeah. Yo, Malcolm says, yes, sir. Russell says, yes, sir. And if they're on board, then I am too. Poppy Clan, my man, says, yo. Final four. Bama sucks. You said it early on, Jay. Final four or bust. Yeah, I was saying that a long time ago. I felt bad, right? As we went into this game, does that mean I'm not trying to set them up for being like huge failures if they lose this game or whatever, because they still had a great season, but I'm glad they got to the Final Four, because I think for me that consummates what has been going on. They're not going to be considered paper tigers. They have been great in the regular season. They have beat ass in the postseason, I should say, and they have gotten stuff done. Sorry, I was working on some stats there. Mobile alum. Super chat coming through. She says, WFE. Give her applause. We're going to be seeing Mobile alum soon at the Orange Beach event. She's always an anchor there at those. Very chatty and also very pro-Auburn, I should say. Thank you for the super chat, young lady. And I know you're fired up to see Auburn kind of make good on what we thought was an incredible, well, not what we thought, what we knew was an incredible regular season to come out here in the NCAA tournament after some wobbliness, right? The loss to Texas A&M, the loss at home to Alabama, losing to Tennessee in the SEC tournament, which is not a discrediting moment, but frustrating, I think, a little bit, to come out and get in the NCAA tournament and absolutely dominate. Did not win by double digits tonight, but W's is all that matters. I got my cat in here, and he's up on the table, isn't he?
Yes, he is anxiously awaiting some time with you.
CJ says, looking forward to seeing you again, Mobile alum. CJ, of course, will be there at the event in Orange Beach, the Beach de Orange. And we're going to have a lot of folks there. I'm hopeful that Hornatius can come down. and some of our other legends get down there to the Alabama Gulf Coast and hang out. Ravin says, I'm so happy for Dylan, a good dude that is just giving max effort. His example is contagious to the entire team. Such a key part of the team, right? For various reasons, just not a big scorer, right? But defensively, his personality, he's such a positive person. He's an uplifting person. I think he's got a future, either like literally in the clergy or like clergy aligned. I think he'd be a great, like the kind of guy that Jeremy Napier is, like the kind of guy that Mike Blanc is going to be, like a Chet Williams type person who can spread the gospel to students and be, or young people, doesn't matter if they're students or not, and kind of be a spiritual guider. I just think he's got a lot to do in his life. I think he's an inspirational type guy, and I think he gets people fired up to be alive and to accomplish what they can accomplish. I think he's a stud. Mobile Alum says it's just not the same without Hornatius. Courtney, care to comment?
No comment.
She withholds comment. Sometimes Hornatius can be a lot, particularly when she calls her husband a goob. Let's see. Chip says, B and Oba can attend if Jazz Fest schedule permits. We would sure love to have B and Oba there because he's a bad, bad man. And Hornatius says should be there. That's what I like to hear. C-Red13 says 2 Final Four appearances and 5 opportunities is pretty impressive. Bruce is the GOAT. He is without a doubt the basketball GOAT at Auburn. And then I think you can open up some chatter about, all-time coaching GOAT. I mean, you've got Shug Jordan, obviously legendary. Pat Dye, legendary. I think BP has probably surpassed Tubb at this point. So that means it's really pretty much down to those two. And I don't know. It's open for debate. It's hard for me to compare Shug Jordan to BP because anytime I think about Shug Jordan, I think about what he did for his country. That guy is, you talk about toughness, football and all those analogies about being tough on a football field. I mean, Shug Jordan was fought in World War II and a decorated soldier in some dirty, dirty fighting there, tough fighting. So he's on a different level for me. But if you're talking about just what he accomplished on the field, I mean, BP, yeah. Reynolds says Bruce is the greatest ambassador of all things Auburn. I don't think there's any doubt about that. You're right about that. Mobile Lem says this is so much sweeter since the Bams got curb stomped last night. That was a tough one for me and Cordy because we hate some Duke now. And we don't really pull for Alabama as a rule. Is that fair to say, Courtney? Boy, you're so chatty.
True, but we never pull for Duke.
There's no situation where we can pull for Duke.
There's no situation we pull for Duke.
Let's see. Russell says Shug, Dye, BP, and Tuberville. I mean, you can't underestimate or undervalue what Pat Dye did as far as turning around. I mean, I would just say strictly in the Auburn-Alabama relationship dynamic, I mean, he turned that around at a time where Alabama had just been spanking Auburn for a long time, for the most part. And he turned that around on its ear and gave Auburn some huge wins at a time that was a critical time for Auburn. Let's see. War Eagle 0008 says Jay Jacobs is the best AD we've ever had, which is quintessential Java. Appreciate you saying that, War Eagle. Frank G says BP is way ahead of Tommy Tuberville. I have to agree at this point. Yeah, I mean, 2 Final Fours. Yeah, he is for sure. But Shug Jordan kind of lifting Auburn to national prominence, and then Pat Dye essentially wrestling the Iron Bowl back from Alabama, which was hard work back in those days, and still is, but huge at the time. Probably felt the weight of the world getting off his shoulders when he's able to turn it around on them. So that's a big deal. Let's see. Solo Tigre says, we play at 5:09 next Saturday. Is that official? Let me see. NCAB. I've got Auburn against Florida, 5:09 Central Time. And then Houston Duke after that. So, yeah, that's going to be official, my man. That's a go. 5 o'clock, Saturday afternoon. Anthony R. says, JG, we are headed to the Lone Star State, baby. I hope you're going, bro. That would be edge. Let's see. Did someone reference number 19 on here? Oh, no.
About falling asleep.
Mobile alum says, CJ, your nap is at an event. Your nap is an event in and of itself. And CJ said, that's my dad. I don't remember CJ napping. I definitely remember CJ's dad napping. Frank G says, do we really get here without Barbie? Interesting question there. So does it really have to get that bad? No, I don't think he had to get here. I don't think the way that it was going, I don't think anybody was going to get Auburn moving until it took a seismic person. It had a personality that was the size of a glacier to get it going. And Auburn just kind of lucked into BP because he was a pariah due to a variety of factors. One is that he had previously been blackballed for some bullshit that I don't know. I'll just say the world was different in the late 80s. And he had to work his way up more slowly than another person that would have been similarly qualified because of being blackballed. I mean, the fact that he goes from celebrated assistant at Iowa, and this is back at a time when Iowa was playing some really good basketball, much better than they are now. And he goes from that to have to go to Southern Indiana, to Milwaukee, and then to Tennessee. And Tennessee, to me, is a good job, but it took him a while to get there. It shouldn't have taken him that long. And then when he gets in trouble at Tennessee for being dishonest to the NCAA investigation folks, which, I mean, guys, we can talk all day about that. That's a whole 30 for 30 in and of itself. He just kind of fell in Auburn's lap. And I know at the time he was probably thinking, God bless, it has to be Auburn, really? Because Auburn was a bad program at the time. But he takes this opportunity, and I think he honestly was grateful that somebody was willing to go with him, even though he had a show cause. What do we call that thing? A show cause? We'll just call it a show cause. And then Auburn is willing to hire him and make him the face of the program, even with a show cause, even though the show cause to me was flimsy at best. Mobile alum says, how do you feel about our next game? It's going to be a tough one, Mobile alum. I'm glad you asked that question, though, because we'll take a look at the Florida Gators from a statistical standpoint. Everybody knows they're really good. Everybody knows that they're coached well, and they've got players, and they've got length, and they've got height, and they've got shooting, and they've got everything. They are a offense. I don't say this about many teams, but they have an offense that can go toe to toe with the Auburn Tigers, without a doubt. Let me go ahead and get these put away. And this is what the Florida Gators look like right here. The number 2 offense in the country. I suspect Auburn is the number 1 offense. Auburn is the number 3 offense. I guess Duke is the number 1 offense. And yes, Duke is the number 1 offense. So they have an offense that's just incrementally better than Auburn, but still an outstanding offense. Number 10 on defense. Look at the shooting. 3-point shooting is, even though it's not their strong suit, it's still pretty good. The 2-point shooting is outstanding because they've got that height in the post. And they have a guard in Clayton he still keeps his shooting percentages high even as a guard. He knows how to get to the rim and finish at the rim. And you look at that offensive rebounding, number 5 in the country, that's going to be a problem. 3-point defense, number 6, that's going to be a problem. They're just good everywhere, man. I can't believe that Todd Golden has gotten Florida this good this fast. I can't believe that it happened this fast, but as you can see, they're pretty damn good. And yes, I'm concerned. Everybody should be concerned. You don't have to be worrying about it, but I'd be concerned. Super chat coming through from Guy Forks. We appreciate Guy Forks being here with us on this channel. A lot of times I notice him with the football, but great on the bunker as well. Jumps in. I'm sorry. Let me add to this. His super chat here says, War Eagle from the Omni Hotel. Jay, I think you're handsome. Thanks for all you do.
I agree, Guy.
And we'll give him a Chris Hansen.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
Wow, here we go. Reynolds jumps in to say, Jay, random question. Your single favorite Auburn athlete you interviewed that we probably don't remember or never knew. I typically say in that situation it's Brent Schoening, the former pitcher, who passed away from leukemia a number of years ago. A young man from Columbus, Georgia, who always dreamed of playing at LSU but ended up at Auburn for various reasons, and he was the ace pitcher in '99. And he was close to my age. I think at the time I would have been 26-ish, and he was probably 24-ish or 23-ish at the time. And we just spent a lot of afternoons just talking in the dugout there at Plainsman Park as he played for Hal. And I just really liked him. I just really, really liked him. So, and he was a really good player too. And his gutty performance at that 99 regional at Florida State is something that I'll never forget. He literally pitched until he couldn't throw another ball, or in the baseball parlance, another pitch. And he held him at bay until his last pitch. Something like 130 pitches he threw that night. One could argue he was never the same after that. So thank you for that question. Other guys, Patrick Lee, P. Lee, Sinderic Marks. I feel like people forget about him sometimes. Great guy. Quentin Groves, I spent a lot of time with him. People know him, of course, but he's passed away, and I worry that he gets forgotten sometimes. Chris Todd, Eddie Gran. Just trying to think of some others. I'd say Shanning, though. And Hayden Galimo, who was on that 98 baseball team, too. Great guy. They used to call him Gizmo. Left-hander out of Colquitt, Georgia. Great kid. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about those guys. It makes me happy to remember those days. Like, honestly, that's one of my... I worry that, like, in my last days of life, I'm going to sit in a bed and think about things like that, you know? And appreciate the times that I spent with, you know, all the Auburn athletes I've had a chance to talk to. These days, I'm like a grandfather to them, you know? I'm like their grandparents' age, so it's different now. But Brent Shanning was a lot more my age at the time, and so was Hayden. Let's see. Jason notes that Auburn plus 2.5 is indeed the line in that game. So Auburn's going to have some work to do. I mean, if Janai is 100%, I think that game's pretty much even. If Janai is significantly impaired, that changes it a little bit because he's such a badass. Brad E., the aforementioned, says, Final Four, we did it. We're going to give an applause for that one. Brad, of course, a fellow member of the Madison Mafia. And Brad, we learned tonight that Keithner, who's a big-time brain drainer and super chatter, is from Madison. So we're glad to add him to the family tonight. Reynolds says, Jay, thank you. Unbelievable people. Thank you for remembering them. Yes, Brent Shanning, actually friends with his mom on Facebook. And the true tragedy there is that his sister died too. And I don't know the whole story there, but they were essentially the same age. And the pain from her, it's just got to be insurmountable. You know, not only lose one, but lose two. Oh, man. Let's see. Moby Lum says, you know the key, it's really hard to beat the same team twice. I thought it was 3 times. But, yeah, Florida's really, really good. And they've been playing great basketball. But listen, man, Auburn's playing great basketball, too. You win 4 in a row. 3 of those games in the NCAA tournament, you win by double digits. And then this game today is a little misleading. I mean, it's 70-64, but, you know, Michigan State got super hot at the end for no real reason. And then they're playing essentially without Janai, who's having possibly his best game of the year. So I don't know. Russell says, family and memories other than faith. What else really matters, JG? You're absolutely right. Family and good friends that actually stay close to you and don't dump you after, you know, X number of years over some minor frustrations. People that stay loyal to you for a long, long time and believe in you. They're very valuable. For sure. Let's see. Dylan jumps in to say it's going to be incredibly difficult to win the next 2 games, but we have a chance. Listen, man, you get there to the Final Four and you see what happens, right? Because if you're not at the Final Four, and you ain't going to win there. But Auburn got there. And that's big. Plus, we got recruiting going on. I mean, Auburn's, listen, man, these other teams are out there in the portal getting shit done. And Auburn is too. I do want to let you guys know that Auburn is going to have a talk with, I forgot his name, but I will get it for you. Keyshawn Hall, who is a stretch 4 for UCF this past season. He is going to be talking to Auburn on Monday about transferring in through the portal. This year at UCF, he shot, 82% from the line, 46% from 2, and 36% from 3. Could be interesting. Played exclusively at power forward, and he played at George Mason the year before that and UNLV to start his career. So he's been kind of moving around a little bit. That's kind of what happens these days. BRT3, my man, this guy's an absolute legend. Thanks for jumping in, bro. Just got home, War Damn Eagle. Love having it here in Atlanta. BRT, as he mentioned right there, is a Atlanta guy and has been very, very generous to me and to our entire team at auburnsports.com. So there's so many people that are like bunks that you don't necessarily know, but who do incredible things for people off the board. He's a great example of that, and I'm glad to have you here, bro. Cass DP jumps in, another one of our Atlanta legends. It's got to bounce. We are playing with joy and effort. That, combined with our talent, can do it to win it all. Soak this up, fam. Enjoy this precious present War Damn Eagle, my man. Let's give him an applause as we play him out. And Russell says, house money from now on, guys. It's all free plays now. That's how I feel about it, too. I just think that this is what you do. I mean, you get to the Final Four. You got it done. You got to where you wanted to be. And then you see what happens. Lowell wants to know if we're talking to Flory Badunga. If he's not in the portal, you'd think that they're not. Is he in the portal? It says he is to enter the portal. So he's not actually in the portal, but he says that he's going to, or indications suggest that he is. Of course, Flory Badunga. Auburn finished second in the sweepstakes to get Flory Badunga last year. He went to Kansas. And I saw him play like maybe 4 or 5 times this year, and I think he probably wasn't stoked about his role there. I mean, he played, but he didn't play a ton. He was like their second choice power forward. Didn't attempt a 3, shot 70% from 2. Holy shit. Shot 53 from the line. That sounds a lot like somebody else we know. He could be an interesting play to be like the new Janai DeBroom. I don't know if he's as good as Janai Broom, but I think he is. Now, I know the numbers, if you look at his numbers that he put up at Kansas, probably don't get you too excited, but I think he was in a tough situation there. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him end up at Auburn if he goes in the portal. Ravin says, I miss Babatunde Akingbola. Such a fun name to say. What did we used to always call him? He went by a different name, though. We didn't call him Babatunde. He had like a different first name. I just forgot what it was. I always just kind of high-fived him. And when I high-fived him, I had to really high-five him because he's a lot taller than me. They're always friendly. A Mobile alum wants to know if we want Flory Badunga now. I'm going to have to check on that because that's not something I can find out like right now. But my guess is that considering the investment that Auburn put in to try to get him to go to Auburn and how long they put in, I mean, they spent 3 years trying to get him here. Stretch. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Stretch Akingbola. Exactly. Considering the time and effort they put in, money they put in to try to get Flory here, I got to believe they would want him here. Yeah. Because nothing's happened at Kansas to make me think he's any worse of a player or worse of a person. So, yeah, I mean, I would think so.
Hey, Jay, did you see the chat from Russell?
I didn't.
It says, joining the bunker now. Thanks for welcoming me in the drain, everyone. That's exciting.
Oh, there it is. Joining the bunker now. How about
That's awesome.
that? Russell, glad to have you, bro. I didn't realize you weren't part of the bunker.
Welcome aboard.
I'm an idiot, and I assume that everybody's bunkering. Let's see. Russell says he's commandeering a boat next weekend. We are all Pearls pirates now. Ha! I love it, man. I love the word commandeering, and I use that a lot in my own personal life because I am known as a Commodore. It's probably self-given name, but whatever. Dylan G says, win the next 2 and you go down in the record books of eternity. That's definitely true. They might already be there, this team, like from an Auburn perspective, but for all time. Mobile alum, you're getting way ahead of yourself here. She says, Jay, your thoughts on Bruce's successor. Are you okay with Stephen Pearl? I just don't even know where to go with that. Let's worry about that when we get to that. As far as am I okay with Stephen Pearl? Yeah, I like Stephen Pearl. I know Stephen Pearl. I've known him a long time now, and I like him, of course. I mean, I don't think he likes me very much. I think it's my hair. That's what I think. See, I think he has a similar haircut to mine, but his is better and he's more handsome. So there's always that. But I mean, it's true. He's thinner, more handsome, much better athlete, but and younger. But can he ride a lead like me? No. Does he have the same diction that I do? No. So there you go. I have much better diction, I should say. Glad to have Matt H in the chat with us. I love when Matt H is here with us. That guy's a badass. Guy's helped me a bunch in my career, believe me, when I tell you that. Believe that. Chip says, don't try to join during National Signing Day or during a Sweet 16 game or better. Here we go with Chip saying the nasty stuff.
Ouch.
Come on, can we just be nice? Listen, our message board hasn't gone down in hours. I don't know what the deal is, man. It did go down last night.
Not last night, night before.
Yeah, the night before. I went down during the... Yeah.
Because I came upstairs and asked you if you knew that the bunker was down.
D. Lucky says that Stephen Pearl also ain't got an AA either.
Aw.
He's right about that. I'm definitely married to the right woman, and he is too. Probably I haven't actually asked him that, but
I don't think that somebody's going to say, nah, I ain't married to the right woman.
I have asked somebody that in my life, and the answer was no.
Oh.
You were there, I think.
Okay.
We were in Oklahoma City.
Oh, that was before he got married.
Yeah, I know. It was the night before he got married.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not so sure I want to marry her. And I'm like, whoa, buddy, it's a little late now.
Oh, whoa. That's like you're in the capsule and you're about to take off in the rocket.
Like, sorry, buddy, this is going down, whether you wanted to or not.
Let's see. Joel R. says, much bigger diction. I got to use that. Yeah, I mean, I do. My parents would be very proud. They sent me to college long enough for me to have big diction. Lots of diction.
It's different than big dick energy.
It's different, yeah. If I could just get that Cybertruck, Courtney. Here's the deal. Maybe we can trade this out. If I get a Cybertruck, then I put a bumper sticker that says Little Dick Energy. Would you go with that?
No.
Oh. Damn.
Was that loud enough for
I
you?
thought that was going to be the chance. James says, always enjoy listening, JG. What a historic season regardless of what happens next weekend. I'm glad. That's the right attitude, James. I think once you get to the Final Four, you've gotten there. And I'm not trying to say they're done. They're not done. They're going to continue fighting, and they want more. But from our perspective, I mean, it's an Auburn team that got to the Final Four, guys. Like, this is insane. South Carolina got to the Final Four several years ago, and they probably won't get back. So let me rephrase that. South Carolina men. Don Staley going to get there all the time. But the men got there, and it was a big deal, and they enjoyed it and whatever. That's their one chance, Auburn's, now here it is, lightning striking again. And when it happens twice, that ain't a one-off anymore, right? We've been talking about Auburn being a blue blood, and I definitely think they're more of a blue blood than Kentucky now. But, when you start getting the Final Fours, like, come on now. Like, it's getting to be a big deal here. CJ says Cybertruck continues to less diction. I'm afraid AA would agree with you on that, but Dylan says Florida doesn't scare me like the Duke-Houston winner. The good news here, Dylan, is that everybody's got concerns about Auburn too, right? Like, they're like, Janai Broome may be hurt, but that dude still is dangerous because he came back and shot a three and hit a three and played and rebounded with one arm, and god dang, Like, every coach in this tournament, John Shire, God forbid that guy, Kelvin Sampson, Todd Golden are all looking at what Janai Broome did or when they do, and they're going to say, holy shit, I want a kid like that. If I had 5 Janai Broomes, I go undefeated every year. You know what I mean? He's the coach's dream, and they're going to continue to talk about this in San Antonio. I promise you that. D. Lucky says, OMG, still hard to believe we are where we are. Just a phenomenal damn achievement. Yeah, it is. It's amazing that Auburn, as an Auburn family, we can sit here and talk about, another Final Four, another great team, can win a national championship. Janai Broome, Willis Reed, Tahad Pettiford. I mean, it's just nuts. And I don't want to leave out Chaney because Chaney played his nuts, and Dylan too. Chip says, do we consider UF a blue blood? I would consider them a mini blue blood, 2 natties, and another Final Four ain't nothing. Yeah, you're right about that. I think of them as about even with Auburn, although they have a natty and Auburn doesn't. But I don't know. Under BP, God, I just wish BP had gotten here like 5 years earlier. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think if Florida's close, they're in that next tier. Although Kentucky's dropped, I think they're even with Auburn. I think Duke's in that top group. Who else in that top group, Courtney? Somebody else? I don't know. It used to be Kentucky, but they dropped. I mean, Auburn stole them. Auburn punched them in the dick so bad in 2019 that they still haven't come back from that. And I don't think they're going to come back from it. Mark Pope ain't going to get them back from that.
Stop.
I'm serious. They got a Hulk smash right in the nuts, and they have not come back from that. They fired their coach over it. Like, seriously,
Jay.
Cal could not get himself straightened out after that.
Cal was a wasted effort the last 3 to 4 years at Kentucky. They're just hanging on to him.
I feel like a stranger says Florida ahead of us. But they just came back. Like, Golden's just got them back, right? This could be the first time we've gotten an AA super chat here, Miss Courtney, from Bridget W. Says, hey, AA, didn't know you'd be on. Yay.
I was hanging out with my peep earlier.
Oh, that's right.
Enjoying some beverages.
Oh, yes. Did you get a lot? Wait, let me rephrase
and
that.
we got...
Did you drink a lot?
Yes, and then we...
Administratively?
made some plans as well. So
That went well?
it was good. It was a lot of fun.
That's what you love to hear. MWD says Auburn slayed Kansas, UNC, and Kentucky 3 games in a row. I remember. I was there. Well, not physically, but I was on the show with you guys. And, yeah, that was huge. Again, it was a Hulk smash to the nuts, and Kentucky has not come back. I don't know why you're laughing about it, Courtney. Look it up.
Jay.
Look it up.
We need to look it up.
Look it up.
Look it up. Come on.
They did. They broke Kentucky.
Jay.
They broke Kentucky, and JB Lee can bring his ass on here if he wants to argue me about it, and we could talk about it. This ain't about UK because UK lost their ass a long time ago, and Auburn's going to the Final Four. But they broke them.
I am very proud of your Auburn Tigers. They have done a very good job this season.
Yeah, they've been awesome. I didn't necessarily know this team was going to be that good, though. In August or October or whatever, I was just kind of looking at them, and I was like, they're good. I mean, I figured they'd be good. Janai's back, and Miles Kelly, I think he was going to get on. They were going to be able to unlock more potential for Miles Kelly because they weren't going to ask him to do so much silly stuff like Georgia Tech was doing and all that kind of stuff. But, they've got to go out there and do it, and they did it. And Tahad was a huge part of it because he was better than I thought he would be. He was more ready. I should say he's more ready than I thought he would be because he came out in the Houston game, was it the 3rd game of the year, and balled out and was the difference in that game. And he's been a badass all year long. I don't know. He's really good. Damn, Courtney just took off. Reynolds says, Jay, major credit to you regardless of the final result of this season. You told us last summer this team would make a legit run. You were right. I just didn't know they'd be this good, but I knew they were going to make a run. I just didn't know they'd be this good because, getting the Final Four is so tough, man. It takes – just being a good team is not enough. You've got to actually – you know what I mean? You got to have the matchups. You got to have the coaching. It's so hard to get there. But Auburn got there. Here they are. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a lot of turnover. It has to be. These guys are, Janai's got to go. Simo's got to go. Dylan's got to go. I'm afraid that Chaney's going to have to go, even though I love to see him for another year. Reynolds also believes that I'm correct on the cock punch to UK. It's a fact. Mobile Lump says Bruce has built an elite program, not just an elite team. Absolutely. They're cranking it every year. Now, he has some up and downs a little bit because you kind of have to at Auburn. But, again, he's back, and it's not a one-hit wonder. And, telling you guys, Final Fours are tough, dude. They're tough. Ask Kentucky about it. They had everything going their way, and they still can't get to the Final Four. Russell says, Indiana always a blue blood. Sister was there from 73 to 77. That's a great year, a great era to be there. Getting her master's and PhD, that 76 team was the best team of that era. It sure was. That team was disgusting. And Bob Knight, I think, gets forgotten a lot. First of all, he's passed away. Second of all, he's kind of an asshole. And third of all, he went to Texas Tech and did that whole thing. But he's a stud. And And Indiana, I think people are going to forget sometimes a little bit about how good Indiana was from like, what was that? When did he get there? Like 70-ish. Came over from Army and then had them amazing in the 70s, very good in the 80s, won a national title in 87, I think. And they were good even into the 90s, although he started getting a little weird. Like with Neil Reed and all that, Steve Alford and all that stuff, but whatever. War Eagle says Cheney just needs to sue the NCAA and they'll let him do what he wants. So there's already folks from Division II suing the NCAA, so he was hoping to just kind of coattail in with them, but I don't necessarily know that one's going to go through. Chip says Izzo and Sampson are probably the two best coaches Auburn has to face from here on out to give BP an edge against Golden and whoever is Duke's coach. John Shire is his name. Yeah, I mean, I trust BP and Burgo over pretty much everybody. I mean, Kelvin Sampson's. Everybody there's a badass. Well, I don't think Shire's a badass, but I hate Duke, so what am I going to say? But, yeah, BP and Kelvin Sampson to me are similar. I mean, Kelvin Sampson's a really good coach. He's done it at different places. He's faced his maybe more than his fair share of scrutiny over stuff that he did, quote, wrong, that to me is not super wrong. I mean, it ain't like BP's out here like covering up murders or anything. I mean, it was little stuff, but it was stuff that the NCAA wasn't going to be going for. And the same thing for Kelvin Sampson. It was like texting people too often. It wasn't girls. It was like recruits, you know. It was like texting too much or calling too much or something like that. These are minor things to me. BP's thing was a recruiting deal, and guys, I mean, whatever. I look at the NCAA as such a farce organization now. I didn't used to. I wasn't on board with this until maybe 5 or 6, 7 years ago. But now I just see it as just like a random ass group of people that just make up shit, you know? I don't know. I don't care at all. Pug. Where you at, Puggo? Pug. What did you get down there? Pug, come here. Come say hi to everybody.
He's very hyper.
Come here.
Go see your daddy.
Come here. Pug. I was hoping the Pug were going to come say hello to you guys. But
Go see your daddy.
come here. He don't want to come on the air.
He's busy rubbing his dick on the floor.
Yeah, he's going to rub his dick on the floor. Let's see. Bill says, how sweet would it be if we beat Florida and Duke to win the Natty, avenging our losses? Been there, done that with Houston already, LOL. Interesting. That would be really cool. That would be the all-timer, man. And Chip says the NCAA is a useless, thieving organization. I'm not a fan. For the longest time, I thought the NCAA were the good guys. And now I just look at them as like an impotent, like, just not necessarily bad guys, just stupid. Like just tripping on their dick and don't know what they're doing and don't understand how to fix things and just stupid. Just a dumbass. Like stepping on rakes and shit. You know what I mean? CDF jumping in with a super chat to say, Chuck getting ready for them big girls in queso. Nobody loves San Antonio women more than Chuck. That is definitely true. Look it up on the Googles. He's had a lot of nice things to say about San Antonio girls. He says they're a little heavy, Courtney.
Hey, I'm sure that he can handle him, though.
I did cover the Final Four in 1998. The Kentucky Wildcats, who I was covering at the time, beat Stanford and then Utah. And I had an opportunity with my friend Rob to interview the Utah coach, Rick Majerus. Unbelievable. One of my all-time, probably my favorite interview of all time. I love Rick Majerus. And I'm sad that I'll never be able to talk to him again because he passed away. But he's hilarious. One of the funniest dudes ever. And he's kind of like, honestly, now I think about it, he's basically BP in a different vertical. You know, he's like BP was not really a basketball player at all. He was a manager who kind of caught on to the game and caught a passion for the game at Boston College. And he happened to be coaching with, or happened to be there at a time when Tom Davis, who's a Hall of Famer coach, just happened to be coaching at Boston College on his way up through the ranks. And then Rick Majerus was at Marquette at a time when Al McGuire was there, and he kind of caught up with a guy who was moving his way up too. And there's a lot of similarities between those guys. Both of them kind of big guys, both of them jovial, neither one of them good college players. Well, BP didn't even play in college, and then Rick was a bad player. I mean, he wasn't like a player. He's like a crusher, basically. And Two guys that just had a passion for the game, and two great communicators, great motivators, understood how to talk to people differently. You can't treat everybody the same. You have to talk to each person where they are. Yo, Malcolm says BP was a mascot, right? He was, among other things, yes. For sure. Man, CDF, way to bring that thing home, bro. I forgot about Chuck being so pro San Antonio girls. That's great. All right, I think are we gonna wrap it up there, Courtney?
It's about that time, Jay.
Is it about that time? I'm glad I got to drink this bourbon tonight.
You know they're closing the schools here tomorrow.
For what?
Alleged weather. It's so silly. So silly.
The potential for, is it gonna snow? It's like 80 degrees outside.
No, there's gonna be some thunderstorms.
I would say 80 degrees. So now tell that chick, please raise up off these NUTs because you gets none of these at ease. As I bob with the dog pound, feel the breeze. Be your top tips. All right, I'm going to probably wrap it up there. So here's what we're going to do. Oh, Zach, thank you for asking me about this, Zachary. It says, hey, JG, apologize if this has been asked about. How about that Final Four bottle? I'm glad you brought that up. That tells me that you're one of the real ones. So I had this sitting here next to me tonight. This is my Final Four bottle from the 2019 deal. And I said the only time I would even consider opening this bitch was if Auburn got to another Final Four, which is why Zachary is coming back and saying, hey, man, so what are we going to do about this? I don't know what to do about this. Do we drink this during the Final Four game? Do we not open it and maybe put it next to another Final Four bottle from this current Final Four that's about to go down? I don't know. I don't know how we do that. But I did bring it down, and I do have it here with me, and I got to think about it. So
I say you crack it if they win the Natty.
Wow.
It's a long way to go, but that's a fair time to crack it.
Zachary, so I don't know. He says, are you drinking it? I don't know, man.
We're not folks that collect and don't drink it.
Yo, Malcolm says, kids can't go to school when it rains anymore, LOL.
It's very true. It's very true. We used to put books on our head and sit in the hallway for hours.
Yeah. I'm old enough to remember when we had to do, yeah. I mean, I was going to school in Oklahoma, so we had to do tornado drills and shit.
Yep.
They try to scare you with that, but I ain't scared. Zachary says, drink it. Drink it. It's definitely going to be a consideration.
Not yet.
Not tonight, but.
Okay, so you crack it if they win Saturday. That's fair because they will have gotten into a national championship game, which would exceed getting to the Final Four.
What if they don't win it, then what? Then I don't open it?
Correct.
Can we just leave it? I mean, they didn't win the game for this. They ended up losing the game to Virginia, even though they won it because of
they did win that game.
The guy fucked up the call, but I don't know, man. We're going to have to think about this.
Maybe you put a Survey Monkey up about it.
Matt 8, stop with Survey Monkey. Matt 8 says, drink it, Jay. Life is unpredictable. Yeah, we are a couple that drinks our bourbon. We don't.
I'm not going to say Knob Creek's at the top of my list, though, to crack.
We don't stare at it. I'm trying to see how old it is. Is this 15? It's a 15er. This was barreled in 2004, then broken out in 2019. So that's a 15-year, which is not super unusual. I mean, the regular Knob Creek's 9, I think. You can get 15-year Knob Creek, here, there, and everywhere. But
so it's all one seeds that made it to the Final Four, right?
Yeah, it's very chalky, as we say, Courtney. Courtney wouldn't even bet on this because she likes, when we're at the horse races, she don't bet on favorites. Sausage Broker, Gavin, my man, is here with us. Just sip on it while we spank the Gators. My man, we're going to go. We're going to applause on that. And Chip says you don't have $1 billion for a Survey Monkey. Courtney was talking to me recently about how expensive it is.
No, that's for the government.
Oh, is that what
that was
did?
One of the latest that there was a survey that cost $1 billion allegedly
through Survey Monkey?
No.
Oh,
and Elon said that you could have done it through Survey Monkey instead.
Good stuff, man. Chip's always ahead of me on that stuff. All right, so we'll wrap it up there. We are definitely going to see you guys on Saturday, obviously, and we'll probably come up with some special stuff between now and then, right? I mean, we may have to do an impromptu drain just to kind of get ready for this because it's a big deal.
Pre-draining?
Yeah, like not necessarily Saturday pre-draining, but just like we'll definitely be doing the bourbon blend on Thursday, and just kind of see what happens.
All right, Mr. Tate, it's about that time.
All right. By the way, one last thing. Melee says Courtney is a blue blood, 15 years beneath her.
Yeah, I am high maintenance.
What is that? You don't like Knob Creek?
Knob Creek's okay. It's okay.
It's Kentucky.
It is Kentucky. My friend tonight ordered some Jack Daniels, and I just had to shake my head.
Why would she do that?
Then again, she was also being inundated with Auburn chants, and she's an Alabama fan, so.
She went there for literally 9 months.
Doesn't matter.
All right, we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Appreciate you all being here. To the super chatters, to the chatters, you guys have been amazing. We've had almost 2,500 messages in our chat tonight, which is really awesome. War Eagle 0008 says, love you, JGT. I appreciate you, man. I think you were our first super chatter tonight. Maybe second. I don't know. Appreciate you. And he also says, definitely need more content than just a rundown if y'all can. I bet we can probably figure that out. Also, Chip says, reassess your friends, AA. We've talked to her about this, by the way. We told her, don't do that again. Please. This is Tennessee swill. Nobody wants that. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys soon. We'll leave it at that. Until then, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. What about that W tonight? Feels pretty fucking good, huh? See you then. Bye.